All right.
Spreading bullshit, whatever the cost, but the translation's been lost.
Man, I fucked that up worse than I've ever fucked that up.
To be fair, I kind of took you. It was a bit short notice.
You jumped on me.
I did jump on you. Yeah. We're translation lost.
Yes, we watch foreign language movies. Dara's wrestling the guitar. We watch foreign language movies without subtitles and then try and talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it goes about as well as you would expect.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Put the old phone on airplane mode.
Oh.
Should be called podcasting mode.
I
Am I
should
right?
check my phone. We should have done this, but it's on vibrate.
It's on vibrate. Who
That's
cares? It's
fine.
It's fine. So
Practically silent.
I'm currently drinking from one can of Monster Energy drink, and I've got another right here in front of me.
Yes.
And so does Brian.
I have one too. I don't really drink. I've only drank regular Monster. I don't like energy drinks.
That's the one that I'm drinking at the moment. But we're gonna do a live taste test.
Yeah, we're gonna taste test these monsters because we didn't plan this. We were just in the shop
on the way here.
And I was like, "That's a very yellow can. That kind of looks delicious." And it probably won't be because it's Monster. But I'm gonna drink some of it and then I'm gonna put the rest of it into my rum.
Yeah. So mine is Monster Energy Ultra. It's a white can.
It's a white can. Mine is Monster Energy The Doctor.
The Doctor.
The Doctor. And it's a yellow can, and it's got a ridiculous 90s ass logo and picture on it.
It looks like one of those free clip art things, that come with Microsoft or whatever that you can just insert.
Yeah, I spilled a bunch of beer before we started this.
Yeah, immediately before.
Right onto your jacket.
Yeah,
it fell onto your jacket.
Yeah, which wouldn't be that much of a problem for someone who drinks alcohol.
Yeah. Now your jacket's just gonna smell like beer for a while.
Yeah, but I'm fine with that. I don't really wear that jacket anyway.
I only wear it here because the here is not important, I guess.
Yeah, well, no, I wore it today because I've been bringing all my stuff back from Dublin, bit by bit. And I just had a ridiculous amount of clothes in my granny's house this morning when I was getting ready to go for work.
Yeah.
And I was like, this jacket is warm and has a hood. So, it was raining. So I was this one will do. But I don't really wear it, so I don't mind. Don't worry about it. It looks a little bit like the jacket that Bruce Willis wears in Pulp Fiction. Yeah, except it's got a black hood.
Why did I go to Looper first?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought you were gonna go for Die Hard first because you've got all 5 DVDs there.
And I love Die Hard.
Yeah, I've never seen a single one.
I've only seen the first one.
Really? But you have all the DVDs.
Oh, I've seen the 4th one as well.
Why do you have all? They're right there.
Because I bought them and I was like, oh man, yeah, I'm gonna watch Die Hard, and then I'm always weird about it where I'm like, I have to watch them all in one go. And then I watched the first one and I'm like, no, I'm good now. I'm gonna go do something else.
That's probably as good as they're gonna get.
No, I feel like they get, from what I've heard, they get really good.
Really?
Yeah, there's one with Sam Jackson that's real good.
Yeah, I've heard that the first one's. Are you thinking of Unbreakable?
No, I'm thinking of Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I've heard that the first one's really good, and as with most film franchises, it's fucking law of diminishing.
Oh, the 4th
quality.
one is trash.
Yeah,
I've watched the 4th one. That was the first one.
Which one is A Good Day to Die Hard?
Maybe the 5th one?
I think that's the 5th one. And that one jumps out at me because although, again, I've never seen it, but every now and then I'll hear someone say the words, oh, it's a good day. And in my head, I'll be like, oh, it's a good day to die hard. And I'm like, why is that resonated with me so well?
Speak into the mic.
Oh, sorry.
Into
the mic.
I can't believe this is episode 11. We've been doing this. We've been doing this for
an insanely long time. Ooh, did the mic pick up on that?
I think
it did.
It's these
gone all loosey goosey.
Horrible mic stands.
It's all gone to shit, folks.
Which are not that horrible because they came with the mics and they ended up being really cheap together.
Yeah.
Which was awesome, and they're really handy to have for a podcast.
Yeah. You see, I always assume that I can step a little bit away from the mics because I've got such an obnoxiously loud voice that I imagine it's not going to be a problem.
I trail off at the end of sentences. That's a big problem that I have that I'm trying to work on.
Man,
and it's real bad.
Irish people just do that, and I know this because I was in an acting college for a year, as you know, obviously, and we had voice and dialect training and all that kind of stuff, and they were constantly on our back. A downwards inflection, they would call it. None of the downwards inflection.
Yeah, you go down when you're talking. And
you're there. You're saying your sentence here, and then you trail off a little bit.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah, and they would be sitting in the back of this auditorium, and it's an acting college. They are not they don't. There's no like beating around the bush. There's no gentle.
Yeah.
There's
you don't
like
want that though.
No,
want,
no.
like...
But they're sitting in the back and they're like, what? And you're like, sorry. Yeah. See, I was smart there. A professional podcaster. I moved away from the mic before I started shouting.
For some reason, that's one of my favorite sounds. Is when someone on a podcast I'm listening to backs off and yells something.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
It's always like it gives it like emphasis.
Yeah.
I'm gonna crack open this monster.
He's gonna go for it. Like. Here we go. I'm gonna leave mine for a while because I've still got my.
Wow, that peaked really hard.
It really did.
The sound
I bet it's gonna sound savage though.
It's gonna sound refreshing. All right, let's see it. This has ginseng, taurine, L-carnitine, caffeine, ginseng, and B vitamins.
Now ginseng, I was telling Brian earlier, it's really good for your throat.
Yeah, which
is good for podcasting.
For a podcast, yeah.
And I found out that ginseng is good for your throat from that shitty reality TV show I did when I was like 16 years old.
Hey, I could drink that.
Yeah?
I don't want to. But I don't want to get into that because it's probably got so much sugar in it.
It'll definitely kill you. But do you remember when Monster, like all the emo kids in Carlo, thank you, we're all just constantly drinking Monster, sitting at the steps of Super Queen drinking Monster.
And you're like, how are you not 500 pounds?
Yeah, or just...
You do nothing but sit around and drink Monster
I know,
all day.
But they were always so wired and energetic.
Yeah.
And even that young, I was like, not. I was not like that. And they always drove me insane. And now I understand why. It's because they were drinking this all the time.
Yeah.
Look at the fucking size of this can.
Yeah. Well, I was pretty tired today, so I was like, oh my God.
That's tasty.
That's pretty good, right? The doctor is in.
Yeah, the doctor
is in.
That's the nicest energy drink.
And now I'm going to put the rest of it in my rum.
Oh yeah, he had the rum pre-poured with ice and all.
I feel like this is going to be disgusting.
It might. I don't know, man. That was pretty tasty.
Look at the color of it, though.
Ginseng's good.
It's like bright yellow. It doesn't look good.
No, it looks a little bit like dilutable orange.
It's like a potion.
It is. Yeah, it's like a concoction.
Yeah, it's
some form of alchemy, perhaps.
Before we get into that.
Yeah, well before.
How was your week, Dara?
My week's pretty good. You know, yeah, it's grand. Just fucking college and that kind of stuff, you know. Austin and I have been preparing for a gig that we are playing next week in a band that we have not played together as in like maybe a year, maybe more, maybe 2. It's been a long time, and we were expected to do a 2-hour set, and we sat down the other night to try and figure out how many songs we have. Oh shit, man, we've not got a 2-hour set, not even nearly. So pressure's on there.
Can you not do covers though as well?
Oh no, it's all covers. Like because it's a
I'm
ball.
Sure you could, like if you get stuck, you could.
Oh yeah,
just
belt out an original or two. Yeah.
An original or like a cover. Like
oh yeah, no, like we've got loads of covers, but it's just. They're
but like, you want it to be good too. You don't want to just half-ass it. So
but
like,
you see, it's a student ball, so like they're looking for like noughties and 90s kind of stuff, you know. And unfortunately for Austin and I, when we actually did gig consistently as a band, we were gigging in this old alco pub. Alco meaning alcoholic pub. This old man pub called Nancy Whiskies. So we were just playing like Friend of the Devil and Hotel Yorba, you know, Folsom Prison Blues, all these
songs that the people who go there would know.
Exactly, yeah, but and don't get me wrong, people in student like at this student ball would probably know them too, but they don't want to get locked and dance to that shit, you know, which is understandable.
This is so sugary.
Is it? Yeah.
Oh, it sucks.
I'd nearly ask you for a sip if it wasn't for the fact that I'm Dara.
Yeah, no, this has a lot of rum in it, so
yeah.
Might not be the best.
How was your week, man?
My week was good. I did a lot of writing.
I've
been working on stuff for a while. A lot of recording.
Yeah, you wrote 2 songs. I only heard one.
I wrote one song.
Oh, really? What was the other one you uploaded to SoundCloud? Did you upload a second song to SoundCloud?
I took down the other song. Because I was like embarrassed.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I just didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
And then I tried to send it to Finn so he could listen to it. And it just wasn't working, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just upload it to SoundCloud again.
Okay, fair enough. I
half wrote a song at like 2 a.m.
I quite liked it, though. I like that song.
Needs work.
And it needs work, but it's like the first song you ever wrote like lyrics to and stuff, so it's pretty good first attempt, like, you know. I earlier today I was in work writing the first draft of a play.
Of a play?
Yeah, because that's how bored I get in work. I just had my laptop open and I was just typing away, working on this play. And then Microsoft Word, right? My subscription's been cancelled for reasons I don't fully understand. Because they're supposed to take a tenner from my bank account every month. And there's definitely enough money in my bank account for them to do that. But for some reason they just haven't. So they were like, yeah, we can't. You can't save this. And I was like, So instead I linked it to, I just copied all of the text and sent it to Finn.
Yeah.
So now my Facebook chat with Finn is now like the first draft for this play. Well, it's literally, it's only one scene I got done, but yeah, I'm excited for it. When I started college, I went to the college that I'm going to, UCD, with the intention of joining the drama society and starting and putting on a play by the end of like my first year, and I'm like coming towards the end of my second year and I still haven't done that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get on that shit.
Yeah, that's why I'm writing this week as well, because I have had ideas that I'm like, I should do this like a year ago, and you just never fucking do it. So I'm like, I have time, so I might as well.
Oh man, I've got more time than I've ever had.
More importantly than any creative outlets or anything like that, I watched a stupid movie, Deadpool. You told me to watch this a couple of weeks back on the podcast, and it just came on Netflix. So I was sitting here, possibly hungover. I might have been. Maybe not, though, because I haven't been drinking that much. So I was just sitting here on some Sunday, and I was like, I just kind of want to watch something easy. And I stuck on Netflix, or Deadpool, and watched it. I liked it. There was a lot of bad jokes.
Yeah. We see, what I found interesting about the film is, when I first saw it, I fucking loved it. Like, I really loved it. And then upon like the second watch, I was like, these jokes aren't like funny enough to be funny the second time around. You know, like a lot of them are like just good. They're just good like quick gags or whatever. But it's not like well thought out humor. It's just.
I sounded a bit down on it there when I first said it, but like I had loads of fun watching it, and I really enjoyed it, and I think it's good that it exists.
Yeah, for sure.
I just thought some of the jokes were bad. But some of the jokes were really good too.
Yeah.
I like their little like calls to the comics and how stupid a lot of that stuff is.
Yeah.
Like there's one scene where he goes to the X-Men mansion and he's like, for such a big mansion, it's weird that I only see you two. It's like the studio couldn't afford any X-Men. I was like, that's good.
Yeah. That's
or when they're dragging him away, it's like, we're bringing you to Professor X, and he's like, McAvoy or Stewart.
Or Stewart. Yeah, that's a good one. My personal highlight of that entire film is like a blink and you miss it moment, but it's where Deadpool chops off a guy's head with a samurai sword and then kicks his head into another guy's head.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. I love it so much. I love seeing shit like that.
It's cool seeing like ridiculous violence in a superhero movie.
Yeah.
When the first big like hit of violence in it is when they crash the car and the guy hits the sign and just turns into jelly.
Yeah, he just splatters.
It's amazing. It's so
so over the top, the violence in that film, but it's so over the top that it's not even like it doesn't resonate with you. Like it doesn't. You're not like
yeah.
You know, it's comical. It's
like a Deadpool comic book.
Exactly. Yeah,
if you've read
it's
any
too
of those,
out there for you to be affected by it or disturbed by it. It's just hilarious.
And it didn't feel like there was no like, oh, we gotta save the world, and it was just it was like
small self-contained little
book.
story.
I really liked it.
And you
Colossus was great.
Colossus was great. He's really funny. You see, I would like to point out that people are now just listening to us talk about a film that came out like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
but
fuck it, I just watched it. To me, it's brand new. To me, it's brand new.
But no, what I like about it is that as well. Another thing I like about it, I suppose, is that like if you actually lay out the film, if you like think about it, it's an incredibly standard superhero origin story, but they just chopped and changed it, and instead of having it linear, so it's like, here's the origin, here's him hunting down your man, here's him confronting your man, here's him saving the day. Instead they were like, here's him like fucking chasing your man, and then here's a little bit of origin, and then back to him chasing your man, and then a bit more origin, I think it kept it fresh.
I watched the Red Letter Media half in the bag on this, and what they said was that they were like, it seemed like they were using the origin to distract from the fact that when you break down to the main story of the movie, there's not a lot there.
No, there isn't. But
that's fine.
That's fine
like,
because
that
film is clearly not trying to be groundbreaking in storytelling. It's just trying to be stupid fun.
Yeah,
and it was. It definitely is just
worked.
Super fun. Yeah.
Like, hopefully it means that there's more R-rated superhero movies that, like, I mean, we got The Punisher.
Yeah, that's true. Like the Netflix stuff in general is a little darker, but it's also the standard.
It's also bad.
Ebbs and flows. Well, like
it's
what's it called?
Good TV.
Yeah, well, I've got. I'm gonna get to the Netflix thing in a second because I've actually got something to say about that. But
okay.
Did you see that they had a test screening for Deadpool 2 there recently? Just maybe last week or during the week.
I don't keep up with any of this.
Not looking good.
Oh, what?
Yeah, the people are looking. It seems like people are kind of disappointed with it. Yeah, so.
How though?
Well, what I heard.
Who was at this test? Who were the people?
I don't know. I saw a series of tweets like screenshotted, because I'm part of like I'm part of a Facebook group that is just other nerds like me who love all this bullshit, and I just saw a series of screenshotted tweets about like how apparently Vanessa is incredibly underused. Who is his girlfriend in the first one? She's I think she's Copycat, who's a hero in her own right or whatever.
Yeah.
And apparently she's really underused.
She was really underused in the main movie. Though,
she was,
well.
but
she doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. She's very much just a damsel in distress, which is annoying. You know, I hate
could have
seeing
done something
shit.
more fun.
Definitely could have. And
he doesn't have a. Does he have a girlfriend in the comics?
Well, I think he's pansexual in the comics. He falls in love with loads of different people. And
He's in love with Death.
He's in love with Death. He's in love with I don't know, loads of people. I know he's been in love with guys. He's got a weird thing about Spider-Man. That he's really horny for Spider-Man.
Who is the kid?
He was a kid. Well, no, not by the time Deadpool meets him.
Okay.
The idea of his whole thing with Death is actually pretty interesting. I think that's a good storyline because the idea is that it's this forbidden love because he can't die and so they can't be together.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Isn't that good?
That's
a
good.
good one. I like that. Yeah. And then it causes this whole rift between Deadpool and Thanos because Thanos is in love with Death and that's why he's trying to destroy the whole universe for her so that she'll love him.
Do you remember the old run of Wolverine and Deadpool? They used to they would be the actual comics that they would release in stores like Neeson's in town.
Yeah,
you would get Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yeah,
and I used to buy that, and I only read one of the Wolverine comics ever out of it, and that was the one where Wolverine kills everyone.
Yes,
which is a really really good run. I really like that.
Yeah.
But one of the Deadpool ones that I really loved is he gets his Loki curses him.
Yeah,
to make him super handsome.
Oh,
but he ends up hating it.
Oh, yeah?
And no matter what he does, he can't, like, damage his face again.
Okay.
So he's, like, there's just a massive, big, like, montage of him, like, jumping into the tiger thing in the zoo and letting them scratch up his face. Or, like, jumping off a building and landing face first on the ground. And it's just really fun.
Yeah, that Groundhog Day style montage.
I like the idea of Deadpool just being a issue to issue, like, this guy doing silly things. Well, I don't think Deadpool works if you put him with the Avengers.
No, God, no.
You know, fighting Thanos or whatever the fuck.
But see, people are kind of calling for that now, especially since Disney is after buying Fox. They're like, oh, let's see Deadpool mix in. The problem with that is, right, there's several problems with that. A big one, I think, is that if you put Deadpool into an Avengers film, he can't swear.
Yeah, he can't do anything.
He can't do
Deadpool.
shit. He can't do anything Deadpool. He
can't make like crude jokes.
Can't
which
make
is what
crude
Deadpool
jokes.
Does.
And
they're stupid jokes.
Yeah, but
that's part of his character.
Yeah,
of
course.
That's kind of why he's endearing as well.
And that's why Ryan Reynolds can play him so well.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds was so good in this movie.
Of course he was, because Deadpool is just Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
he's just got his sense of humor.
Except when it's Nolan North.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I was going to bring it back. Oh yes, the Netflix thing, right? Earlier today. I watched the first 2 episodes of Jessica Jones season 2, right? Because I watched season 1 of Jessica Jones. It was too long, but I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it mostly for the performances, I'd say. But I started watching the second season today. It's good. I'm liking it.
I'm never gonna watch that. I don't like
fair.
her face.
You don't like her face?
It's like such a childish thing, but I just don't like her face and can't watch it.
That's fair. I
didn't like her in Breaking.
I think she's a really good actress.
She's good.
Man.
No, she is. She was great in Breaking Bad, but like
in Breaking Bad. Have you seen Don't Trust the Bitch in Apartment 23?
No, that show always looked like trash to me.
No, it's really funny.
Okay.
It's really, really funny.
But you also said Big Mouth was funny.
Big Mouth is funny.
Yeah. I'll nah.
See, Big Mouth is divisive though. But Don't Trust the Bitch in Apartment 23, you'd really like. I guarantee you. I can't remember because I know I've seen the name 1,000,001 times, but it's an Asian name, so I never knew how to say it in my head. But I'd always read it and be like, "Oh, I wonder how you say that."
It's not going to be an Asian name now, and you're gonna look like a huge racist.
Well, it looked Asian to me.
I left my phone outside,
so you can't even check it.
I put it.
You've got an iPad right there, and your phone is there.
And my phone's over there.
I can see.
But that's like I have to reach across.
Yeah. No, fuck it.
Just some Asian.
But no, because in Don't Touch. Don't trust in.
Don't touch the bitch.
In Don't Trust the Bitch in Apartment 23.
Well, it's don't touch the B in Apartment.
Yeah, but
they can't. You can't say bitch.
No, in the show they say bitch, but they just can't write bitch.
Yeah.
In that, she's really good because she's like an over the top, flamboyant, really obnoxious, in your face party girl.
A bitch.
Yeah, and she's really fucking annoying, but she plays it so well.
Okay.
And then in Breaking Bad, she's like this
goth,
this recovering goth drug addict.
She's good in that, yeah.
And she's really good.
But
I
just can't.
And then in Jessica Jones, see what I like about Jessica Jones is right, and it's an idea that I've always liked since I was very young, and I used to write stories with a similar kind of idea, which is the idea of a superpowered person who is not a superhero. They're just trying to get by, and I really.
But they have superpowers.
But they have superpowers, yeah. And she's just a PI. She's just like, well, I've got these superpowers. I don't want to be a superhero. I'm just gonna use my superpowers. I want to be a
doctor.
No, she uses her superpowers to like catch people out when they're having affairs. You know, that's what she does. She just does real scummy, dirty work.
She totally looked out with her superpowers, and they're not like something that would actively get in the way of that.
That's true.
But also, she could have gotten like if she could read minds, that would probably help quite a bit.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, but no, I think it's. I really enjoy Jessica Jones. I think she's good in it. There are a few characters in it who drive me fucking mental.
Have you watched The Punisher yet?
No.
It's not good.
Yeah, you've told me that a couple times, and I've heard it from other people a couple times, and
when I go online and look it up, people are like, "It's really good." It's and I'm like, no, it's like whatever about it having like cool music, and then a thing happens.
Yeah,
it's badly shot, and there's no budget.
Yeah,
it looks like they didn't care.
Well, you see, the thing about The Punisher is I was so not at all captivated by Daredevil season 2. That I couldn't get into.
Was the best part of Daredevil.
Well, from what I've seen of Daredevil season 2.
I've only prison.
No, I've literally only seen
prison with the Punisher. That's so fucking good.
Yeah,
it's so brutal, and it's
I've only seen 2
Daredevil
episodes
season 2 is trash.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it, and although I was like, yeah, this guy seems good as the Punisher, I don't know, I couldn't get fully invested in him.
And rewatching Daredevil season 1.
Oh yeah.
It's not
as good as
when I was watching that. I was like, "This is like the best."
Yeah,
and then
tried
it's like,
rewatching
"Oh wait, no, this is all just Wilson Fisk is really good, and everything else is kind of just mediocre."
The fight choreography in it is good.
Fight choreography is fucking fantastic.
Very, very good. Yeah, and like some of the, but you see, at the same time, there's a good chance. Looking back on it, there's a very good chance that fight choreography peaks in episode 2 with that hallway fight.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, because that's what sticks in my mind.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And there's one like that in season 2 that's really good too.
Yeah. The
one where it goes from the rooftop right down out onto the street.
Oh, I have seen that. That is very good. That is a very good one. That whole thing, that whole scene was good when Daredevil's like chained to the chimney, but that is like literally just ripped straight from a comic book.
But then the ninjas show up and you're like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
This is, and they're climbing up, they're like running up the walls of the hospital, and you're like, this is dumb.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
If I had to say one positive thing about Punisher, probably the only positive thing about Punisher is the first episode's okay, and has a really good build up and payoff. and then the opening like theme with the cinematic is really good.
Like the opening credits.
Yeah, the opening credits are really good. And same with Daredevil.
Because
I love the opening credits of Daredevil.
Fuck it, so long, and it's just red CGI bullshit for like a minute and a half with this
Netflix
stupid
has
fucking.
A skip opening now. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Fuck that, man. And I know you can skip it, and I do every time, but it still bothers me that it's there and that it's that long. And Jessica Jones is the same, man. It's like 2 minutes of just bullshit.
What's an opening theme song that you will listen to every time? Oh, I already have your answer for you.
Oh, do you?
Teen Titans.
Yes.
Yeah.
When there's trouble, you know who to call.
I've been watching the original Dragon Ball series.
Yeah.
I watched like 110 episodes in 2 weeks when we were snowed in.
Yeah.
I just blasted through it. But every time, watch that opening credits because it's fucking awesome. I'm going to play it for you after this. It's so good.
Do you know what's a good one, actually? The Batman.
Batman's great. Yeah, the Batman is great.
Yeah, no, because it's like a guitar solo, and it's real long and drawn out. But then it like builds to this climactic bit with the guitar, and then suddenly everything stops, and then this voice just goes, "The Batman," and it's like, and it's so cool.
The only thing I remember about that show is one time when I was like 10, I was really sick, and I remember just lying on that couch there when it was back in the sitting room. Just like so goddamn sick and like stomach just but the Batman was on TV and I was like, this show is still so cool.
It's so great, man. It's such a good show.
As a 10-year-old I was like, that show's rad, man. Did you see the Riddler? He's like Marilyn Manson. That's so cool.
He's like Marilyn Manson in that, yeah.
He is just Marilyn Manson.
He is, yeah, but he is really cool. All the villain designs in that are dope as fuck. The Joker in that is great. I love the Joker in that show.
Yeah, the Joker is really good.
The like
and he's
monkey-like
voiced by
Joker. What's his name?
I'm blanking on his name.
Yeah, same. But he's great. First Black Joker, and he's great.
You know who's a good Joker? John DiMaggio.
Yes,
I always really liked him in
Under the Red Hood. He's really good as well. Yeah.
Oh shit, we're like half an hour into this.
What? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Wow.
So that was
We've got
superhero
so much
talk.
shit to go through.
I can't believe how much we talk about fucking Marvel on this, and I don't care about Marvel at all.
But I do, and it's all I have. Well, I don't even care about Marvel as much as I do DC, but it's just all I've got to contribute is comic book bullshit.
But I kind of like comic books too. Like on the lowest of keys, I like know way too much about comic books from osmosis.
Man,
just from listening to other people talk about it.
Why the fuck is your house
far away from
always so warm? Why is your house always so warm?
We moved all the furniture, so now the radiator is like free.
I'm sweating like a bollock. I went upstairs. I went upstairs to go to the bathroom before we started this, and I had to go to the bedroom and spray myself with deodorant because I was stinking of sweat. Like, it's so warm in your
just
gaff.
I'm used to it. I just sit in it.
Just sitting
No, I don't sweat that much. I never sweat.
I'm not used to being this
a real
warm,
man.
I'm
never
broke.
Sweats.
I'm broke. Like I'm used to shivering in my granny's house. Like, this is insane heat, man. I can't even handle it. It's too much. Your parents are taking this
well, your
we've
granny's
got money
house.
Thing too far.
No, your granny's house was built when?
Like a million billion years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like fucking.
This house was built like 12 years ago.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Did you not always live here?
And it's really well insulated. No,
really?
I moved here when I was like 10.
Oh, okay, that's crazy. For some reason, I always assumed that this was just always your home.
We moved here on the day before New Year's.
Oh,
when
there
I was
you go.
10. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
That's
Very
how
good.
I remember.
Well, that's
it was
something
the day
I'll
before New Year's.
know now. You know, that's something I'll bear in mind forever.
Yeah. Before there was nothing on the floor. It was just concrete.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like a terrible place
My
to live.
bedroom was just concrete.
Wow. No bed, no nothing.
No
just
bed, no
lying on
nothing,
the
just concrete. No, I had bunk beds.
Ah, dope. Yeah.
I was an
used to
only child.
Yeah, you still are.
And I was like, I want bunk beds. That sounds dope. And my parents were like,
they should have gotten you those bunk beds with the bottom part as a desk. That shit was the bomb, man. I always wanted that.
You know what I ended up doing actually as a kid?
What?
I would hang a blanket from the top bunk.
And
have like an enclosed bed that was like a tent, that was rad.
That is pretty rad.
Yeah.
I specially requested to my parents that we get a bunk bed.
Oh my god, we're just trailing off on all our sentences and the you just keep moving. You keep moving all the way back over here, and then talking at normal volume. So it's like Hello, I'm Dara. I'm talking at normal volume 3 feet away from the microphone.
My normal volume, my voice travels though. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's
no.
Fine. It's fine. Shut the fuck up, Brian. It's fine.
Also, we need to get pop filters.
I've been asking your man in the music shop about that, and he just still hasn't gotten them in. But
what a dick!
I know.
Yeah.
I keep asking. Like every week, I ring him, and I'm like, "Did you get those?" And he's like, "No."
If you're listening to this podcast, Mr. Music Man, you're not our friend. Man. You're not our friend. No, he actually, if it's the same guy, he gave me both of these microphone cords.
Yeah.
Because I forgot to buy them.
Oh yeah.
And I went in to buy them, and I was like, surely it can't be more than €20.
Yeah.
And I went in with €20, and I handed him the 2 microphone cables, and I was like, just these, please. He was like, that's €25. And I was like, shit. Let me run out to my car and get more money. And he was like, how much do you have? And I was like, 20. And he was like, that's fine.
See, that's sound of him because they do not look like they do good business. I never see anyone in there. Never.
That's really, it was really sound of him.
By the way, everybody, I've opened my fucking Monster Ultra.
Yeah, what's it like?
I don't know yet. Let's find out. I'm gonna
that has
swap
ginseng
the straw.
Too.
Does it?
Does all Monster have ginseng?
Maybe, I don't know. Check the other one.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
They all have
ginseng. There you go. Well, fucking perfect for podcasting then, huh?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Best drink you could ever drink.
So
never stop putting it into your body.
I am now halfway to Finn's challenge, which is to drink 4 Monster Energies on this podcast. I'm drinking 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Doesn't he want you to do them all in one, though? That seems like a really bad idea.
Seems like a terrible idea. That's pretty nice. You want to try a sip?
Yeah, let me try.
Sorry about the fact that I bite my straw. We need to talk about Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah, we watched Fullmetal Alchemist for this podcast that we do about other movies.
Yeah.
It
sucked. It kind of sucked. It mostly sucked.
It mostly sucked.
There were some bright spots, but it mostly sucked.
So I actually ended up remembering a lot more about the original than I thought I did. Because I brushed up against this series when I was maybe 14. That is quite nice.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
I just think I don't like Monster on like a...
But this one's not as intense.
I don't know. I just don't like Monster.
Yeah, that's fair.
It just makes me feel gross.
Oh shit! This one's got 0 sugar, 0 calorie. It doesn't say calories. There's 0 calorie.
This one does not have 0 sugar. This has an absolute fuckload of sugar.
Yeah, well, as you hold the can and read the back of it, I can see your hand shaking.
52G.
52G of sugar. That's
no good. 500 milliliters.
That's awful. Okay, right.
Ow, my teeth. So yeah, Fullmetal Alchemist was a movie.
Yeah.
A Japanese movie.
You know more about like...
We watched it without subtitles.
Yeah. Yeah. You know more about like the original thing than I do. Do you know who wrote it or who was behind it or anything like that?
We did no research.
Yeah, that's something we definitely should have looked up.
Wikipedia still open on my phone.
Oh yeah. Now, here we go. Gonna be professional. I'm stalling for time.
So yeah, it was released on December 1st, 2017 in Japan. It was directed by Fumihiko Sori. And according to this, it featured the song Kimi no Soba ni Iro Yo.
You said that, I imagine, impeccably, but no, maybe not.
Probably not. Probably not. I tried my best.
Sounded great to me. I'm real impressed.
It got 8 million in the box office, which I feel like isn't good.
It didn't say the budget, does it?
No, I don't think it says the budget anywhere here. But it stars Ryosuke Yamada as Edward Elric and Tsubasa Honda as Winry.
Yeah.
Dean Fujioka. Yasuko Mats... I'm just doing this so I can say the Japanese names. It's fun.
Dean... He's the sexy guy, right?
No, Dean Fujioka is Roy Mustang.
Oh, okay. Which one is the sexy guy?
That is Ryuta Sato.
Ryuta Sato.
Yeah.
Dara
fell in love with the man while we watched this movie.
Mad hard on for your man.
Whoa, you're so loud.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He has amazing hair. I was entrapped by it. I couldn't get over it. He looked so good in every shot. He was a beautiful man.
All right, what does he look like when he's not styled for this movie?
Yeah, okay, let's have a look.
So I brushed up against Fullmetal Alchemist back when I was a wee lad.
Speak a little closer to the mic there.
I brushed up...
You don't have to say it again.
I'm going to say it, no. He still has amazing hair.
Let me see. Look
at how...
Oh, yeah.
He's just great.
Or-Y-U-T-A space Sato. Look him up, folks. He's a good-looking man.
Ryuta Sato.
Yum yum.
Oh my god. Now it's weird. But yeah, it's 2018. You can like who you can
be attracted to whoever the fuck you want.
I've been watching Queer Eye. It's all good. Great show as well. I didn't say that earlier. Go watch Queer Eye. It's fucking great.
Right. Okay. We need to just get into this movie because we've been stalling way too long.
So I thought I didn't know anything about it. Turns out I actually knew a lot about it. It's an action movie based on an anime, or based on a manga, I suppose, which was made into a very popular anime that a lot of people really like. Dara is desperately fanning himself. He is
so warm in here, man.
Take off your shoes.
My feet stink because it's too warm in here.
I don't care.
I'm sorry.
You got to take them off. Or
this might be the week that I end up going shirtless halfway through because I'm having a hard time.
Hey, I mean, we're both looking pretty good. When
I start to overheat, I feel like I've got a fever, and I start to feel ill, and it freaks me out. So
heat, as in the heat, like the fire that Roy Mustang shoots. We should get back to Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yes, good segue. Right. So yeah, okay. Fullmetal Alchemist. Right. Let's get into our 3 points. This would be a good way to do it. Right. Let's get into our 3 points. Let's just dive right in. What was one of my first points? The weird aesthetic, right?
Okay. Yeah. I wanted to hear this from you because
so basically
it looked like the anime. I just want to say that first of all, it did look like the anime.
Okay. Right. Well, you see, the thing about it is it's kind of it's all, well, obviously it's all Japanese cast.
Yeah.
But it's almost as though, well, it's not almost as though, but they're trying to make it seem like it's this like German village and stuff, and they're all like, the majority of them are blonde, but they've got like not. Well, no, not the majority, but really a lot of the main characters are wearing like really bad blonde wigs, and they're like, and the aesthetic of the actual like villages surrounding them and stuff, it's all like weirdly old timey and stuff.
Yeah, it was shot in Spain, we think.
Yeah, by the looks of things, but it was really vibrant and colorful, but I don't know. It was weird because it just, like, something about it just really clearly wasn't meshing. In that it was obvious that they were trying to make it look like it was all set in this like German village, but the fact that they are all Japanese people, very clearly Japanese.
It wouldn't even be bad if they were just Japanese people.
Yeah,
but it's the wigs.
It's the blonde wigs, man. The blonde wigs
really ruin it.
And they're not good wigs. They're awful.
Edward Elric, we talked about this towards the end, where I was like, I didn't feel like I connected with him at all because of the wig.
Yeah.
He looks like a man playing a character.
Every time that he's on screen, which is a shame.
He looks like a bad cosplayer.
Yeah, he does. He looks like that's the perfect way to describe him. Which is
not
a
bad cosplayer.
To be fair. But because the problem with it is, he's got a metal arm and a metal leg, right? Because at the start of the film, him and his mother dies. Him and what's his brother's name again? Alphonse. Edward and Alphonse's ma dies, right?
Yeah.
And so they try to bring her back with alchemy.
Yeah.
And in doing so,
they invoke equivalent exchange.
Yeah. So Alphonse loses his physical body, and Edward has to put him into like a what's it called? A suit of armor, and then fucking Edward loses one of his arms and one of his legs in the process as well.
To bring back Alphonse. He loses the leg with the mother, and then I think he loses the arm to bring back Alphonse.
Yeah, and so he ends up with a metal arm and a metal leg. And they look pretty good.
Yeah, they are. The robot arm and leg look pretty good.
Yeah, but it's the whole aesthetic of that is ruined by this god-awful blonde wig.
Yeah, if he just had his normal hair, it would have been much better.
And the red jacket he's wearing, it's way too like... It's like directly taken from the anime.
I thought all the costumes were fine. It was just the wigs for me.
I don't know. I think a lot of the costumes were fine, but his one was weird. It stood out as being strange.
So, like, a big problem with it too was that there are other characters in there who are blonde in the anime, and they're just not in this. They don't make Winry, the main girl. I'm pretty sure she's blonde in the anime.
Yeah.
And manga, I suppose. We're going to be referencing the anime because that's where I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's blonde.
But she
didn't wear a wig. She looked fine.
And yeah, she looked like a real person.
Yeah, she looked like a real person.
Yeah. Yeah, even though at times she wasn't acting like a real person.
She didn't look like a twat with a wig walking around.
Exactly.
Like fucking Edward.
Yeah, but then then in other ways, I guess the aesthetic really worked in a lot of ways as well, because there's this alchemist militia type force that go around. I
can't remember what they're called, but yeah, they're they're kind of like the government.
Yeah, they're like the police for alchemy. They call you out when you're using alchemy in ways
bad alchemies.
Bad alchemies.
Bad alchemies.
Yeah, so and they have this cool like military style dark blue uniform.
Yeah, really nice,
and
nice.
It looks really cool.
And it looks 1-to-1 with the anime as well.
Yeah, the guy that I found really sexy, he was wearing he's one of those militia.
Dara just loves a man in uniform. But he also loves when he takes the uniform off and rocks a sick dad sweater.
Oh man, there's this scene where they're like eating dinner and he's got like one of those baggy jumpers on.
Yeah.
And he's got his hair is looking fucking he just looks great, man. He just looks really good.
Every time when we were watching this, like he came on screen, Dara was like, "Oh, there he is, my man. I love him. Look at him. He's so perfect."
He was a very good looking man. Now, to be fair, right, just to make it perfectly clear that I wasn't just horny for this guy, there's also your Juan, who, what's her name?
You couldn't stop looking at her cleavage.
But they kept drawing your attention to her cleavage.
Because she's lust. Yeah, that's the point of her character.
She is the embodiment of lust.
She's one of the homunculus.
Yeah.
Or homunculi.
And she's like one of the three kind of main bad guys throughout she's probably like the biggest one, the most prominent one.
She does the most.
She does the most. And she appears a shit ton, and she's always got like this really low cut top, but then she's got a tattoo right above her cleavage.
Yeah, which they constantly
point at and like and then there's some shots that are just a shot of her tits.
You know, Japan
love titties.
Is want to do that with a lot of stuff. They're like, "Hey, check these out."
Yeah.
Have you ever seen these?
You like these.
It's always like they've just found out about them and they want to show you. They're like, "Yo, dude, check out this sick thing I found. It's crazy."
Yeah. So that was, so that was a weird thing. And then the other two homunculus?
All the homunculus looked like pretty much 1-to-1 what they look like in the anime too.
Did they, yeah?
Yeah, they looked really good.
But, okay, well, I'm glad that they looked accurate, but that doesn't mean that they didn't look awful, right? In particular, Gluttony. Gluttony looked gross. And I know he's supposed to because he's Gluttony.
Yeah.
But oh god, I had a hard time looking at that dude.
He looks pretty gross in the anime too.
He's just a
big fat man,
bowling ball of a man.
Yeah.
There's no edge to him at all. He's just perfectly round, and he's got this big fat bald head, and he's got no pupils. He's got no iris and no pupils. He's just got these white ass eyes. And he's got this weird kind of perverted smile on his face all the time. And I suppose like that's a good thing in that they made he's a bad guy and they made him really unappealing to look at, which, you know, well done. That's an achievement. But I found him really, really disturbing. And luckily he's not in it all that much because...
No, he's not in it at the start of the anime very much either. No. He just kind of shows up to eat stuff. Hang on, I'm pulling up a picture of him here so you can see what he looks like.
In the anime? Oh yeah, no, that's pretty good. Pretty on point. Yeah, to be fair. And you know what else looked really good? Because you showed me.
There's Lust.
Oh wow, she looks pretty good too.
Pretty
accurate.
Last one I'm going to show you is
Envy.
No, that's Wrath. Hang on.
Wrath wasn't in this at all.
Wrath was not in this.
Are you looking for Envy?
Man, of all the ones.
Okay, well while you're looking for Envy, I'm just going to say that you showed me a clip from the anime.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this because it's one of the main things that I remembered going into this.
Yeah, well, we'll get back to that in a sec. But in that clip from the anime, I saw
Don't spoil it yet.
No. But what I'm saying is, in that clip, they show you the suit of armor.
Yes.
His brother. Yeah. What's his name again? I keep
Alphonse.
Alphonse. And because when we were watching the film,
There's Envy.
Okay, yeah, no, that's pretty accurate. They do look pretty on point. But when we were watching the film, I was like, man, that fucking suit of armor looks so stupid. I couldn't stop pointing. I couldn't get over how stupid it looked. But then when you showed me the scene from the anime, I was like, holy shit, that looks exactly like it did in the film. And so that's a credit to it.
It's a little bit more expressive in the anime because they can
they can give it
expressions.
Yeah.
But usually that's only used for like comedic effects. In like all the serious scenes, I really like the armor. I like that design from the anime. I think it's a cool design. Sometimes it looked good in this, and sometimes it looked really bad.
Yeah, it did vary from like shot to shot, didn't it?
It
but you'd all it
depends on the lighting a lot.
It depends on the lighting, but also you could tell that like some shots they really had a suit, and then some shots it was just it was like mostly CGI, if not all, you know. And
like I said, it was jarring. Probably a mocap person.
Yeah, but it was really jarring because we've already seen the actual suit, and now you're showing us this fake bullshit.
Yeah,
you know, and you can't expect us.
There was some horrendous CGI. In this movie,
really bad CGI, but not as bad as the Monkey King, but bad.
Oh, like, the Monkey King was the worst thing I've ever seen. Never talk about that again.
Well, it's a good frame of reference.
That was the episode where we died. We actually died.
That was the episode no one listened to, and for good reason.
We're dead now. We're recording this from beyond the grave. But yeah, there is I'm gonna leave the bit. The emotional bit until the very end, so we can maybe put in it, because I really feel like that's something, if you have any passing interest in this series, if you know that, it's gonna ruin some of it.
Yeah, well then let's talk about the special effects, because that was one of your points that you wanted to bring up, so you can spiel for a minute, and I'm sorry, but I'm gonna take off my shirt.
Yeah, that's fine. There were some bad special effects, like the start, the pillars.
Oh god, yeah.
I just smacked my microphone, but yeah, the pillars coming out of the walls and stuff.
Yeah, so like basically there's a bad guy, and he's being chased by Edward, and he's got this ring that's got the Philosopher's Stone in it, supposedly, but then we find out it's a fake, and he's like making these pillars bounce out of the ground to try and attack fucking Edward, and then the pillars are coming from the wall to try and smush him, and it looked awful.
Yeah, no, and it just... There's one bit where he hits the ground and it makes a shockwave of all the bricks, and it just really doesn't look that good.
No.
But like I said, like it does the job, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think does the job with CGI is worse than really bad CGI.
Yeah, because at least really bad CGI is funny.
Yeah.
But this wasn't funny. It was just cringy. It was just like, that doesn't look so good, does it?
No.
You know. Yeah.
But how else are they going to do it? You know.
But yeah, I know. I understand that. Like that. But look, to be fair, I suppose
they could just leave it as an anime.
They
could have done that. Obviously, it didn't pan out. Didn't seem to make that much money.
Yeah. Well, like I understand why they gave it a go, and I understand as well why a lot of the CGI sucked, because again, a lot of the effects, a lot of the visuals at the very least looked pretty good. So you could kind of tell in this film where they allocated money. You know, they clearly put money into the Alphonse. They clearly put money into him. A lot of
the budget into that.
You know, they put money into. They did not put money into those fucking.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
we'll get to that. They did not. They put money into the scenes where he's talking to his arm and leg.
Yeah. Which is an interesting thing. Do you want to explain that scene a little, just so people have some idea?
He's talking to a ghost man in a white room.
Yeah.
I don't really know what it is apart from that. Yeah, I don't remember it from the anime or anything.
Right. Well, the way it seemed anyway was that he was like talking to, like he was having like some kind of vision of of the parts of himself that he's lost. And that looked pretty cool, because it was like
a smoky, barely human kind of a thing.
But then it just had one arm and one leg.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it was all mist. It was like swirling because there was nothing there. And that was pretty cool. I liked that really good, aesthetic. Yeah, I thought that was pretty dope.
The homunculi soldiers. These weird Cyclops freaks that looked... They looked like a PS2 game.
They did, yeah. Because at the end of the film, spoilers for this awful film, but that the whole film is them searching for the Philosopher's Stone, so that they can, so that he can bring back Alphonse,
restore Alphonse's body.
Yeah, because he's stuck in this fucking suit of armor.
Yeah,
and in the end, then they find out that there's not just one Philosopher's Stone. They've been making fucking thousands of them by killing people.
Yeah, Philosopher's Stones are made with people.
Yeah.
That's the big twist.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and so then it for a second there, it looked like it had so much promise because fucking Edward is standing there and the villain is like explaining his plot or whatever, and then he like points upwards and it shows you all of these totally blank canvases. They're people.
Yeah.
And it's just these bodies and they're gray and they're kind of clammy and oily looking, and they look gross. And they have no facial features whatsoever.
Just blank.
Just totally blank canvases, and it looked cool. And then he like activates the machine, the bad guy, and one Philosopher's Stone is put into each of these homunculi.
Yeah.
And that brings them to life, and suddenly they start growing a mouth, and then they grow an eye.
And it looks so stupid.
It looks so stupid.
It looks so. You know what? And I said this when we were watching it. I for a second thought that the only like feature on their face was going to be the glow of the
stone,
and that would make sense then of why they get killed when they get hit in the head.
Yeah.
And also, you could still do the mouth. I think that would look really cool if it was a mouth and then under the skin, like, red glow.
Yeah,
that would look dope. But instead, they gave him a big, stupid, googly eye.
Yeah, and they were, like, weirdly proportioned. They had these gigantic backs. Like, their back muscles were huge.
Yeah.
And then their arms were kind of pushed forward, and they were kind of hunchback looking. And then they drop down, right, from the ceiling. And there's so many of them. There's so many of them. That for a second you're like, well, how is he even going to fight all of these? It's quite easy, really.
He doesn't.
He doesn't. About 25 normal ass people. I presume they're also alchemists.
Yeah, but they just have guns.
They just have guns, and they just one shot to the head, and that's it.
They just mow them all down. It's like the guy is like, these are my super soldiers that are going to destroy you.
Born
it's
from
like
the Philosopher's Stone, which the entire film has been built up to be this incredibly powerful thing.
I don't think Alphonse or Edward fights any of them.
No.
They all run down a little like alleyway.
Yeah.
And get shot to death immediately
by those militia people.
By literally 20 people with guns.
Yeah, and they're just standing there in a line firing, right? And it shows you them firing the guns, like starting to shoot these creatures as they all swarm, and there's loads of them.
Yeah.
And then it cuts away to a scene with Edward and Alphonse and what's the guy? Not the guy with the
Roy Mustang.
And then and them versus the fucking like envy and lust.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty good scene. It's
okay.
It's not so bad.
It's okay.
It has some moments. But then it just cuts back
and
to the militia people, and they've just won.
That's it. They killed them all.
All of these supposedly incredibly powerful homunculi monsters that have each of them has this unimaginably powerful stone. It is giving them life.
They could not have been less of a threat.
They were nothing.
They were immediately just taken care of with no, like, it was honestly like shocking.
Yeah, and like
that someone wrote this and was like, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, and then they all just die off screen.
They all get shot off screen
on the big threat of the film, the one that they, and I wouldn't mind except. The bad guy spent about 15 minutes explaining his plan, or presumably explaining his plan. Obviously, we don't know. But he spends like 15 minutes talking about it and gesturing to these things and hyping them up, and then they're just wiped out off screen. Every one of them.
It's that fucking video. What's the one? The wrestler. Have I showed you this?
I don't.
This wrestler who was supposed to be a huge deal.
Oh shit, it's the one who falls out.
Yeah. And he's got the helmet on. And he walks out and immediately trips over and like his helmet falls off, which wasn't supposed. He was never supposed to take the helmet off. So, and it's just a fat, like kind of balding man.
And his helmet is like a stormtrooper helmet, but it's all sparkly.
Well, it's covered in rhinestones. And it just immediately, he was done. That was it.
Yeah, that was the
end
of his
that,
career.
He never, and he was supposed to be big. He was planned to be huge.
He was supposed to be the hot shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, here he is. And then he just, like, the fireworks go off and he doesn't go through the wall first. And like, you hear a boom.
Yeah,
and that's
like
him trying to
banging on the
burst through the wall, and then he does, but not all the way, and he just falls.
He just tumbles out through the wall.
That is exactly what happened with these homunculi soldiers.
Just loads of hype and then nothing. Nothing. Okay, what were my other points? Performances. I'll talk about that. All right. Some of them, because you have something to say.
Well, I'll probably attach this to your.
So, your one. What's her name again?
Winry.
I thought she was quite good, and the problem is she was given what I presume to be a bit of bad direction at times, but in terms of like being expressive, she never stopped acting. Whereas like other actors in this film are guilty of something that is a major pet peeve of mine, and I can't stop looking out for it, which is when one person is acting and they're like delivering their lines and someone else is also on screen with them. Watch that person. Watch the other person, because it's very likely that they're just standing there waiting for their line.
Yeah.
And loads of the characters in this were doing that, except for her. She was constantly reacting. She was constantly in the moment, and I respected that.
Yeah, she was good.
To commit yourself to a film this fucking stupid, I really respect it. Your man, the sexy guy, he was really good for that as well.
Are you sure you're not biased?
I might be. I could be incredibly biased, but I thought he was pretty, because he was charismatic and he was enjoyable. But then every now and then he would act in.
That is an interesting thing to look at the other person. I've never thought of that.
Don't think of it, because now I can't not do it, and it ruins a load of movie experiences for me. You know what? Another thing that I cannot stop doing is watching, like, if someone is talking, right, and it's like a shot of them talking, and they're talking to someone, and then it cuts to a shot of that person that they're talking to reacting to what they're saying, but the first person is still talking.
Yeah.
And the first person is in the corner of the screen, but the focus is on the person listening. Watch that person in the corner of the screen. Their lips do not match the words they're saying. A lot of the time, they're not saying anything.
Yeah.
And I understand that that's like, it's necessary every now and then to try and make the scene work, but it's way too common. It really pisses me off. And now I can't not look for it. I can't. My eyes immediately go for the person who's supposed to be talking. Immediately. I'm not even watching the person who's supposed to be acting.
That's part of why I really didn't like The Punisher.
Yeah.
It's because I studied like cinematography and stuff for like 2 years. So now whenever there's something with bad cinematography, it really
jumps out at you.
Really jumps out at me, and I'm like, that was terrible. This sucks. And it just ruins it for me. It sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay, so that guy, the really sexy guy, really good at some points, but then there's other points in which he acted like an anime character.
This was my point.
This is your point, yeah.
They do this thing, and I think it's a thing that happens in a lot of Japanese movies. Maybe. I'm hardly the expert, but
I think you might be the expert, to be honest.
Between us two, I'm definitely more knowledgeable about it. But
of all the people in this room,
of all two of us, maybe three. Who knows?
Who knows?
No one listening to this knows how many people are in this room. We might have many followers.
They're all just sitting around trying to be quiet, and it's pretty easy because we're not very funny.
They're just standing. There's 4 other people in this room, all standing at each corner, facing the corner. Yeah. Because we told them to do that. Because we're recording.
They're all in timeout.
We're recording now. Please go face your corner. So yeah, they do a lot of like over the top gesturing, like you would see in an anime. And it just doesn't work with real people. It looks silly.
Like they keep trying to pull the anime face.
The anime faces,
you know, the stupid expressions, like
expression.
Oh my god.
The reason that works in anime and not somewhere else is that in anime you kind of have to you have to kind of hyper express to get it across more, because you can't get subtlety. I mean, you can if you're really good.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, it's difficult to get subtlety in someone whose face is like a couple of lines.
Yeah.
Whereas a real human, you can get a lot of subtlety into someone's face if they're a good actor.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, like, you see, as well, like, another thing is in anime, you have the option of just briefly turning the characters into chibis, you know? And that can work really well in anime, yeah.
Bigger,
And it's over the top, but it gets the point across as to what they're feeling or whatever, and sometimes it's funny, real people don't do that.
In real people, it doesn't look natural at all. It just doesn't. No, it doesn't look good.
So there were a lot of anime faces in this, particularly from your one
Winry did that a lot. Yeah,
she did it a lot, and that's why her performance, while I do think it was good, I do feel like at times, because so many characters are guilty of it, of doing these stupid anime faces, that I can't believe that it was a character choice on behalf of each of those actors. I feel like it must have been direction from the director. The director must have said to them, "Okay, now you're going to go."
It definitely seemed like a directing thing.
Yeah, and it was a poor choice.
Yeah, bad choice.
Yeah, really bad choice.
But maybe that's the norm for Japanese anime adaptations.
Yeah,
I've only seen a couple.
Yeah,
we'll be watching more. There's one in particular that's. I have a plan. It's another famous anime that came out a while ago, and that's just a little
sizzle.
Yeah, this will be different though, because
that's sizzle for me, because I have no idea.
I've read all 7 volumes.
Oh shit!
Yeah, okay. That took me like a year to read.
Wow, so I'm gonna be even less caught up than.
But
I'm
so caught up.
Yeah.
It's like my shit. It's like my shit.
You can compensate for me.
So we'll see if that holds true when we watch that. If like they do the same.
Yeah.
Over-expressive.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting point to come back to.
We should remember to think about that.
Definitely. Right. I've only got 1 point left. So do you. Should I go for mine first? Because mine is.
You should go for yours first, while I desperately try and remember what my other one is.
I think yours was just cinematography, but you kind of already covered it.
Kind of talked about it.
Yeah.
I have something.
Okay. Cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, to be fair, you have a lot to say about my next thing, which is the dog.
Okay. All right. So real talk for a minute, as someone who's watched the original anime, if you have any interest in watching Fullmetal Alchemist, I would suggest Brotherhood, because it follows the manga a lot better, and it's on Netflix. The original is too, but there's a lot of filler, and it's just kind of the pacing's all off. But if you have any interest in watching that, and you feel like I feel like I want to go and maybe watch that, skip this next bit. I'm going to put a timestamp to when this ends and we get into whatever else we're going to talk about, because this is a big deal, and it's a big emotional thing, and I feel like if it's ruined, it just it's something you have to experience.
Yeah. So spoiler alert from now, right?
So
and it's
3,
interesting.
2, 1. Yeah. Let's get into spoilers.
Yeah. It's interesting that you mentioned that it could potentially ruin it, because I feel like it was ruined a bit in this, right? Because we started watching this film, it was you, me, and Ali, and you guys were like hyping this dog thing up, right? Because I'd never seen anything to do with Fullmetal Alchemist, and you guys were like, I wonder if they're gonna. They were like, you guys were like, I wonder if they're gonna do the dog thing, and I was like, what dog thing? And they were like, oh no, we're not gonna say. And you're like, oh, and then as it goes on a little bit, you're like, oh, I think they are gonna do the dog thing, and I'm like, what fucking dog thing, right? So it turns out what the dog thing is that one of the characters that what's his name? Fucking Edward. How is that dumb name? I forgot.
Yeah.
That's my name. I'm Dara Edward.
Oh yeah.
But fucking Edward and Alphonse. They meet. They're friends with this crazy scientist guy. He's kind of like half alchemy, half science. He's like science magic, and he's got this daughter, and he's got this dog, and Alphonse and Edward hang out with the two of them. And then Edward goes away for a while, and he comes back, and he has this mad scientist dude has kind of amalgamated his own daughter with his dog.
With his dog.
He's made them one and the same.
Out of the two of them.
A chimera, it's called.
Yeah. It's a chimera.
Yeah. So he's after fusing them together. So now his daughter's just a dog, right?
Yeah.
But the thing about it is it didn't resonate the way that they shot it. It didn't feel.
It was shot in like
broad daylight.
But I showed you the original anime version, which is
It's an
even
intense
you watching
scene.
it, knowing what happens, you were like, oh wow.
Yeah, it's much more intense because it's in like a dark room.
There's no windows behind them.
There's no windows. There's
window.
like a little
there's
teeny
like an open window behind
there's like
them.
a little in the anime. There's like a little teeny crack of light coming
from the door, and it goes into darkness, and he turns around, and the light reflects off his glasses.
Yeah,
and it looks really sinister.
And then he shows Edward and Alphonse his creation, and he's like look at this, I did it. It fully understands me, and he's going, this is Edward, and the dog goes, this is Edward.
And at first Edward's like, oh, that's
my
sick.
God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And then Edward looks closer,
and then the
realizes,
dog says, big brother.
Yeah,
and his eyes
suddenly Edward's eyes, like his pupils like shrink, and he realizes that this man is after turning his own daughter into a dog.
And all right, so in this, his daughter doesn't have the same hair that the daughter has in the anime, and that's how you see it, because the dog has the daughter's hair,
but the dog in this did not have the same hair as the daughter.
In this, she had the same hair as the daughter in the anime.
Yeah,
so it didn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, because I was just looking at it, being like, what the fuck did he do to his dog? Well, why did he put a wig on his dog?
Yeah, but no. And then, it's shot in, like, flat daylight.
Yeah.
And it just looks terrible.
All of the intensity of the scene is gone. There's no weight
Robbed.
to it. It's just, well, to be fair, now, after Edward realizes what he's done, he just starts beating the shit out of this guy. And that's pretty good. That's pretty intense, because your man's, the effects makeup that they put on your man is pretty good. Like, his face gets all swollen and bloody and gross.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. But yeah, for the most part, it was just like, because you guys had already told me that this was a big thing, or like at least kind of referenced
it to do at least a semi-decent job.
Yeah, and then it just turned out to be nothing, and so that was disappointing.
Yeah, that was so yeah.
So if you're a fan of like that moment in particular, they fucked it.
All right, so I think that's the end of the spoilers.
Yeah. Now, is the last thing that you wanted to talk about the thing that I was what is it? Fucking fight sequences? Because that's what we were going to talk about. Do you remember that?
We kind of talked about that with the special effects.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
there was a couple of. There's one fight between Alphonse and Edward.
Yeah, that's the one that I was kind of thinking of. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that was well shot and well acted.
Now, obviously, we don't know why they were fighting, but clearly
almost made me forget about the wig for a minute, because he actually acted in that scene.
Yeah, and he acted quite well, because Alphonse, in case you haven't been paying attention, he's just a suit of armor.
Yeah.
You know?
So
he doesn't feel pain, or at least it doesn't seem like he
doesn't feel pain.
Yeah, and so fucking Edward is just punching the shit out of him, and his knuckles are bleeding, and he's like staining Alphonse's steel with blood and stuff
from his knuckles,
which is
cool.
It's a cool effect, but at the same time we were both sitting there going, why aren't you punching him with your metal arm?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? Because his left arm is his human arm.
I suppose there's probably some like actually means this.
But it doesn't matter. I don't care. I said this to you while we were watching it. Even if you're left-handed, even if like his left arm is his better punching arm, once you get a metal arm, that's your punching arm. That has become your punching arm. That's
and the metal
especially
arm,
if you're going to be punching a fucking suit of armor.
Yeah. There's no
justification for it.
But it looked cool.
It did look cool.
It
did look cool.
That's what they were going for, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, what did you think of this movie? Would you recommend it?
No.
No?
No, I definitely wouldn't.
Go back and watch it with subtitles?
Fuck no. It was
Do you
way
think you'd
too
watch
long
the original
as well.
Anime?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I think there's some interesting ideas in it.
There's some really good fight scenes in the original anime.
Yeah.
Too.
Also,
that Lust and Roy Mustang fight is way better in the anime.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Well, that fight was actually not too bad.
Just quickly jumping back to the special effects, his fire looked good.
His fire did look good.
His fire looked really good. Yeah.
Now, to be fair, when he shot fire at people, they burst into flames at an unnatural rate.
Because it's magic fire.
But it still looked good. But yeah, no, I couldn't recommend this film anyway.
Yeah,
I am interested in the original anime, but it's more so we didn't get a chance to give out about this, right? But this is more a problem with the original anime itself rather than this film specifically, because Edward is the Fullmetal Alchemist that they refer to.
Oh yeah, you took umbrage with it.
But his brother is literally a full metal man.
Yeah, no.
And Edward isn't even half metal.
The Full Metal Man is just the half metal alchemist, and the half metal man is the Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, but he's not even half metal. Like literally, he's got an arm and he's got a leg. He's got another leg and he's got a whole torso and a head and another arm. All of those are human.
Yeah, no, but Dara, he is the Full Metal Alchemist.
He's just two limbs. Two limbs does not equate to
he's
full
the Full Metal Alchemist.
Bullshit. I call
so
bullshit.
Yeah, I would say if you want to experience the Full Metal Alchemist story, go watch the anime.
Yeah, for sure.
Go watch Brotherhood or read the manga, I suppose. A lot of people like to do that too.
Man, for the people listening at home, I am shirtless and I'm still roasting. It's so warm in this room, man. Okay.
I could open a window.
I might open a window. I'm closer, man.
I have to get the guitar.
Oh, okay. Oh, what? You have to get the guitar? Why are you getting the guitar? What?
Because we're about to stop talking about the movie.
Yeah, well, why are you...
I realize I'm not talking into the mic at all.
Yeah, but you said you had to get the guitar. Yeah. You don't have to get the guitar. I have to get the guitar.
No, you don't, because we're not doing bullshit yet.
Oh, yeah, we're not. Okay, fair enough.
Pass me the guitar.
Okay. Oh, my God. What's happening? I don't like this. I'm the one who springs shit on you.
I wrote this 5 minutes ago.
Oh, really?
While we were doing...
he's only got his own pick. Oh, it's an E. He's starting on E.
Emails.
I'm so glad that I referenced the fact that was an E chord before you started, because otherwise people would have been like, that was shit.
All right, so we're done talking about the movie now.
Yeah.
We got 2 emails this week.
Which is crazy.
And they're both very long. So you're just going to have to let me get through this.
Yeah, that's grand.
They're great though. Thank you so much. I suppose we'll start with Barry Neenan, because
a word from Barry, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, a word from Barry. He wrote in last week, and we talked quite a bit, and he has some stuff to say about his YouTube channel.
Oh, cool. Because I've been quite enjoying his YouTube channel.
Ooh. So
what?
Barry says, "Hi, I am honored and slightly baffled at the invitation you have extended to me, specifically to fill your otherwise entertaining product with my words. I will be glad to oblige, assuming I actually have anything to say. With time, perhaps, I will usurp the title of third most important person on this 2-person podcast. Man, that Monster Energy drink makes it so hard to read."
Yeah, I'm buzzing, to be honest. I'm buzzing.
Many thanks for the shout out to my and Loafer's YouTube channels. Tragically, I no longer receive any ad money whatsoever. I'm thinking of moving from videos to articles. Did you know just writing stuff down is way easier than writing it down, filming yourself saying it out loud, and then editing it with a cumbersome software? Who knew? Yeah, that bullshit with the if you don't have 1,000 subscribers, you can't get ad money now. Yeah. Started literally a week after we started.
Really?
Yeah. It was maybe a little bit longer, but it was right after we started.
It's not like we were going to make any money off of this anyway.
Yeah,
be real.
But
at least now we have something to aim for.
Yeah, I've set it up. We need 1,000 subscribers. Start spreading the word.
Yeah. Start botting us, please.
Yeah.
We can't do it to ourselves. Yeah. It'd be scummy. He's lost his place.
No, I found
email.
it. In regards to me being a coherent reviewer. Oh wait, we didn't talk about that really sucks though.
Yeah, that really does suck.
Sorry, we both really enjoy your videos.
Yeah, they're funny. But I imagine we'll both also really enjoy your articles, so.
That's true. Barry writes very good.
Yeah, right. We're fucking better than you said that sentence.
In regards to me being a coherent reviewer, that really comes down to format. Most of my YouTube videos were tightly scripted, with me spending a long time working out what I was going to say before I recorded. I'm talking literal months in some cases. Put me in a live format and I quickly become an incoherent son of a gun. Perhaps it is for the best that my presence on this podcast is contained to the written word, leaving notes like the goddamn Phantom of the Opera. I'm going to play the organ. I'm going to go play the organ. Yeah, I'm writing something at the moment, and so much of that is just you write something and you're like, but it would look better if I did this, and you spend an hour on one little bit of a paragraph just getting that perfect. And you really don't need to, but
physically
it's
writing
so
is
hard
meticulous.
not to. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I spent this week I have written for maybe 2 hours every day.
Yeah.
And I have 320 words.
Oh, jeez.
Because I'm just changing stuff around over and over again. P.S. Brian, it took me... Oh, this is good. Brian, it took me a solid 50 minutes of having the last episode's video open before I noticed the little Dara smells in the corner. Well played.
Oh, you bastard.
When I was doing the text thing, I put a tiny little Dara smells down in the corner.
I didn't notice that, you motherfucker.
So I'm really glad that someone actually caught that, because that was just a little like, this will be really funny to me.
You bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah, you motherfucker.
So thank you so much
thank
for that
you so
email.
much, Barry.
Really
good to hear from you, as always.
Writing is hard.
Writing is really hard, man. It's really, really hard.
I will continue to read whatever you do.
Yeah, same, for sure. Yeah, for reals.
So I gotta jump to the next one because these are both long emails.
Okay.
It turns out a lot of our friends write quite a bit.
Yeah, and
are very good at it. Yeah, good at English.
They're real funny and stuff. Yeah, so we can't leave shit out.
Hang on.
The content is too damn good.
Yeah. Hi guys.
This is from Oshin.
We have two from Oshin because he made a typo in this, and I'm gonna read that one last because Hey guys, Oshin here. You may remember me from my popular Tumblr blog at Oshin asked 8H8R. I don't know.
Well, let me read this shit.
But you see, he goes
Oshin,
on in the next.
At Oshin dast 8H.
Because that's a typo.
Okay, that's the typo.
Yeah, and he said it's actually. Oh wow, it's really good.
Okay, what is it?
It's actually at Oshin the straight hater.
The straight hater. Fantastic.
It's apt.
That's very good. That's very good.
I'm sure our group chat doesn't help.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
No.
Hey guys, Oshin here. You may remember me from my popular Tumblr blog at Oshin the straight hater. Dara, you might remember me from school. I sat behind you in home economics.
You sat next to me in everything else. Except music.
Sorry I keep forgetting to send you guys an email. On one hand, I know the two of you enjoy emails, and I want to be supportive and start lively conversations about orphaned CGI mice and unfortunate plot holes. On the other hand, it's really important to my brand that I remain an enigmatic figure. Am I a friend? A long-lost lover? Will I show up to your house and politely drink your alcohol? Nothing is certain.
The first one and the last one are definitely certain.
Definitely certain, yeah. I told you, we were talking about this earlier, I was like, I had to fight him.
Yeah, you had to
give him my alcohol.
You had to convince him to take your
Because I was just
alcohol.
trying to offload it because it was my birthday and everyone was like, Brian drinks rum, we should just buy him rum, lots of rum.
Yeah, and Oshin being a good guy was like, I can't take your drink.
Yeah, and I was
Brian.
like, but you don't have any, you should like have fun.
Yeah, please.
Because you need drink to have
just
fun.
Stand there like a fucking square like Dara.
This week and last, I watched a few films, and I'm here to bring both my grievances and my highly coveted insight. I feel like briefly discussing films is really in keeping with the theme with the podcast. Even if it was not the theme with the podcast, even if it was not in theme with the podcast, I fully expect to command temporary creative control of the direction of the podcast when I send an email.
Very good.
That
Very
was
good.
tough for me.
Yeah, you really struggled
This monster
there.
is fucking difficult. It's gone now, though.
It is gone.
First of all, let's be wary of acclaimed gay films, especially when critics have described them as beautifully shot or imbued with a great emotional depth and poignancy. I just watched 2 hours of a pair of rugged farmers help sheep give birth and occasionally have angry sex in a picturesque English countryside. Was it beautifully shot? Yes. Was it poignant? Indeed. But did I enjoy it? Also yes. But that doesn't mean I don't want to watch a gay film with an actual storyline one of these days. My problem is that they are rare and most gay films only amount to really drawn out pornography. Mm. Yeah, I can see that.
What's it? Blue is the warmest color. Have you heard of this film?
That's a gross movie.
I have not seen it.
That's a gross movie.
But all I know of it is that what I've been told is that it starts as like a kind of romantic story about like these 2 girls who are kind of fancying each other, and it's kind of like, ooh, will they, won't they? And then it's just like hardcore lesbian sex.
And
for, like,
the problem
rest
with
of
that is they really didn't handle it well on set.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The director, and they were really gross about it.
Really? Yeah, I didn't know that now.
There was like when they did it in The Handmaid's Tale, which is a Korean movie by the guy who did Old Boy, which is another movie we're probably going to watch.
Which is another film you've referenced on this podcast. But I think I've heard of The Handmaid's Tale.
No, it's just called The Handmaid. The Handmaid's Tale is a TV show.
Okay.
I always get those two confused. But when they did the lesbian sex scene, there was no one else in the room.
Okay.
Except for the 2 actors, and Park Chan-wook was in a different room controlling the camera with a remote control because he was like, it's important that these women have privacy. and it's not like a gross thing.
See, that's interesting. But to be fair, like when they shoot heterosexual sex scenes, you're just surrounded by like 50 people.
Yeah, but I think no, even then.
Well, look, this is what I hear from Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, well, I'm sure he's a great. Yeah,
great reference.
Yeah, the guy who
he's been in more fucking films
the guy
than
who
I have.
filmed like most of his movies in 1990s.
Yeah, that's okay.
You know,
yeah,
when
that's
they
fair.
probably
That's
didn't
accurate.
handle that shit well.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like, yeah, a lot of the stuff with a sex scene is like, the actors have to look comfortable.
Yeah,
because that's kind of the point.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, I feel
That's two people who are at their most comfortable with each other, and like you.
That's an interesting way of doing it. I respect shit like that, man.
Yeah,
I like shit
no,
like
but
that.
Blue is the Warmest Color is a gross movie, and don't watch it, and don't give that guy any
cred.
Any cred.
Okay.
Anyway, let's get back to this email.
Shit.
As the two of you are aspiring filmmakers, I request you make gay films with plot and action. We're two boys. We could make a gay movie.
Yeah, we could totally make a gay movie. Like a guy. I feel like I'm a flamboyant guy.
I feel like as a straight white man, I know
as a straight white man, I definitely
of the average homosexual that I could make a really poignant and beautifully shot game.
As an artist, I am qualified to tell any story.
Don't worry, it will be poignant and it will be beautifully shot.
Yeah.
The film I really I know you guys have original concepts and aspirations, but put them aside on my behalf. The film that I really want to talk about this week, and I saw this in the email and I was like, fucking yeah, let's go, is Watership Down.
Never heard of
Blank face from Dara.
Yep.
Damn you. We watched it in class, and I only vaguely remember it being about aggressive rabbits from when I watched it as a child. But God, I hope one or both of you have seen it so we can properly discuss the details of it. The plot revolves around a small group of bunnies leaving behind their doomed homeland in search of new pastures. One of the rabbits has prophetic daydreams, and there is no context really, other than maybe they're given to him by an omnipotent nature deity. Why did I say diary?
Okay, you're going to have to say that whole sentence again, man.
One of the rabbits has prophetic daydreams, and there is no context really, other than maybe they're given to him by an omnipotent nature deity.
Okay, right, I'm on board. I'm on board. I understood that. I understood it that time.
When they eventually find a new peaceful home, they seem to realize they're all dudes, so they overthrow this nearby rabbit dictatorship just so they can ride some of the oppressed lady rabbits. Like, really, who is the target audience of this film, and why did RTE show it on The Den when I was a child? Yeah, this is a movie that a lot of people are like, oh, it's about rabbits. It's like a kid's movie. And rabbits hardcore murder each other in that fucking movie with blood and shit.
It's
insane. Dope.
That's insane.
And then there's one rabbit that dies, and every time I watch that movie, I cry. Like, I actually legit cry because it's just so emotional. It's a good movie.
You're an old softie, aren't you, Brian?
It's really dark. It's way darker than The Den.
than the Den usually.
And
Dustin the turkey has set the bar.
Before I go, some film recommendations for the podcast: Perfect Blue and Your Name. Two anime films that I have heard of. And I've watched a little bit of Perfect Blue, but have not gotten around to actually sitting down with it.
Okay.
Very good.
Excellent.
Oshin with the out of nowhere just having great taste in anime.
Yeah, man, I was talking.
I've never talked to him about anime before.
I was talking to you about this earlier, man. Oshin's got like really great taste in stuff in general, but he's real quiet about it. Great taste in music, fantastic taste in music, but he never tries to force it on people.
You'd think someone who has that good taste would
never stop broadcasting it. Yeah, like Austin.
You
know, but Austin's different. Austin's taste is like 60% good and then 40%. Oh, right, Austin.
Yeah.
Enough of this fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
I like how we've talked shit about Austin on like nearly every episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of those songs that he plays when we're hanging out, I'm like, are you serious right now?
We see
this is the most Austin shit.
A lot of the songs I find are like, look, this is a fine song, Austin, but it sounds like the other 5 songs you're after playing. Yeah. You know? It's just like a decent pop
better than
beat.
me.
Yeah, it's better than I could write.
All anime music. Whenever I like get like the computer and it's my turn to play a song, it's all like music from anime or music from video games. I'm terrible with like
actual music
because when I'm here doing shit on my own, I'm putting on like fucking weeb music because I'm a fucking nerd.
Yeah, I for the most I'm bad for like
sometimes
finding...
you put on music that's too intense
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
you do that sometimes.
What hit me with it? With
I
don't
know.
Of my
like
two
sometimes we'll be
songs.
all just like kind of hanging out, and you'll put on some like really intense Pixies song.
Oh yeah.
And it's
yeah,
like, Dara,
that's
come
the
on,
thing, man.
We're all just chilling out.
That's the thing, because I tend to I'm bad for like finding a band or an artist that I like, and then just like obsessively sticking to them for a while and being like, this is all I'm listening to. Right now I'm doing that with like Anderson .Paak and Brockhampton, which are two good ones.
I've been listening to a bit of Brockhampton too.
Yeah, Brockhampton's savage.
Yeah,
but
great.
they're like those are two good ones because they're both reasonably chill, and they're better party music than like, as you said, the Pixies. You know?
Yeah. No, Pixies are great.
Yeah, but they're great when you're
like
when you're angsty or when you're like.
Sometimes I'll listen to the Pixies just.
Oh
when
yeah.
I'm out, like, well, I do a lot when I'm out smoking a cigarette, which is like pretty angsty.
That is a pretty angsty
standing in the cold with my big coat, smoking a cigarette. That's like. Anyway, let me finish this email.
Yeah, sorry.
2 anime films. One is excellent, and the other is of questionable quality. But I leave it up to you. I leave it up to you two, which is which. I like that.
Ooh, interesting.
I feel like Your Name and Perfect Blue wouldn't be good fits for this. No, they would, because they're both really visual. Never mind. Yeah, because they're animated, so they have tons of really good art.
Okay, savage, dope.
Perfect Blue is Satoshi Kon, I think.
Well, Oshin is an animation student, so you can rely on him. You can rely on Oshin to throw you some dope ass animated stuff.
Satoshi Kon did an animated JoJo's Bizarre Adventure movie.
Oh, you're all about that fucking JoJo, aren't you, Brian? You're desperate to get JoJo involved in this pod. Are you pointing at JoJo?
I have a action figure of Crazy Diamond. If anyone knows what that is, what's up?
What's up?
What's up? Sorry for this essay of an email. I'm making up for lost time. Anyway, love the podcast. Love the two of you. Follow me on Tumblr. Thank you, Oshin. That was a really good email. And just so that everyone gets it, it's at Oshin the Straight Hater. That's Oshin, OISIN DASTR 8H8R.
Yeah. Well, Brian was saying there was the number 8.
8.
Yeah, he said that twice. He said like 8. You know,
8, because I have an accent.
Yeah, because you have an accent.
Because I'm Irish.
I also have a bit of an accent.
I might as well just read the little typo one too. OMG, the Tumblr URL was supposed to be at Oshin the Straight Hater, but I typoed, and now I hate states for a living on Tumblr. Yeah, because now it's Oshin the State Hater. I'm so fucking angry. Joke over. Podcast finished. Love you both.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Oshin. We love you too.
Yeah, we do love you very much.
Don't see Oshin enough.
Man, Oshin has been my best friend since I was like 13 or 14. I never see him. I never see him. We were talking about this like last night.
He's such an enigmatic figure.
Yeah.
He's right.
What's he even at most of the time? Who knows?
Where did he come from?
Where did he come from? Somewhere in the fucking back.
I feel like he just showed up someday.
Yeah, like I remember. Because
he only shows up when you need him the most.
I don't think I've ever explicitly told this story on the podcast, but when Oshin and I were younger, we went to school together. We went to primary school together, and then we went to secondary school together. And in primary school, we started hanging out in like 5th class when we were like 11. But we were both hanging out with each other, not because we liked each other. In fact, we quite disliked each other. We were hanging out with each other because we both wanted to be Matthew's best friend. And then that lasted until like first year or second year. And then somewhere along the way, we realized that we preferred each other. And now we don't see Matthew all that much.
Oh.
But I still really like Matthew. We both do. But he's just in Maynooth. And Oshin's, I know, we bonded.
That's
and we were like, all right, Matthew, we're done with you.
Friends.
Yeah.
Where like someone might be in your friend group for like years. And you're like, oh yeah, he's like one of my friends, but he's not like, he's just one of my friends.
No.
And then, like maybe a couple of years later, it's like, oh, now we're like the best friends.
Yeah, well, like Oshin and I, even when we became best friends in secondary school, like I say, we from like second year onwards, we sat next to each other in pretty much every class, except for I did music and he did history at the same time. So I would sit next to someone else in music or whatever. And I think we were in a different maths class as well. But other than that, we sat next to each other in everything. And we didn't really get on because we were both really cranky and grumpy and we hated school.
Oh, so you just...
We hung out all the time, but we were always bickering. But then we would still hang out all the time. It's like we knew that somewhere deep down we do get on really well. But we're just both in real shitty places. And then as soon as as soon as we got like our college shit sorted and all the pressure was gone, suddenly Ushin and I were just like, oh shit, man, I fucking love you. there's no beef here at all. What have we been doing?
I'm taking your vape.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, get that bit of melanin. And you know what? While you're doing that, you take a couple of blasts there. Keep going. Bullshit for Brian, hair like a lion, a curly-haired lion. Bullshit for Brian, no, I'm not lying, time for bullshit for Brian. I fucked up the chords there a little bit because
I didn't even notice. I was too busy doing sick rips.
I'm so sweaty that my hands were slipping off the guitar. Right, it's actually bullshit from Brian this week.
Yeah, I was hoping you would forget. What bullshit do I have?
What bullshit do you have? I know what bullshit you have.
I'm not telling that story.
Come on, man, tell this story.
I am not
Come on, I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out, man.
I cut my dick shaving. That's all I'm gonna say. Podcast over. All right, we're back.
You didn't know we were gone, but we're back.
Yeah, we're back. So I have some proper bullshit.
There's bullshit you're actually willing to get into.
There is a mystery afoot in Ballin. So as you know, I still smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, because you're a dirty, dirty boy.
I smoke less now.
Okay, well,
like I'm cutting down, but
all right. Whatever you say, fag boy.
For reference to any international listeners, fag in Ireland means cigarette.
Yeah, no one says cigarette here.
Yeah, everyone says fag. And like
fag.
When you go abroad, people are like, "Excuse me."
Yeah, it can cause some trouble.
Yeah. So I go outside midnight the other night. Maybe Monday. I'm smoking a cigarette, just listening to the sounds of the night, looking at the stars, whatever. It's very nice. My cat's over, chilling.
Yeah.
What can only be described as an explosion.
Oh.
In the distance.
Oh.
Like a and it like echoed.
Wow.
Goes off.
Okay.
And it's loud. Like I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Right.
So I'm like listening. And I'm like, whoa, why is everything so quiet? Oh, it's because I wasn't talking loud. So I'm like listening. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? And then I'm like, well, I can't like go over there now. It's really far away, it seems. So I just finish my cigarette and go inside. So the next night, I'm out around the same time, smoking a cigarette. Another explosion. This has been happening regularly.
Okay.
For quite a while.
Interesting.
And I don't know what it is.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is trying to bomb Ballin?
I don't know
why.
Who
wants to bomb Ballin?
There's like 1,000 people here, maybe less.
If even, like, who gives a fuck about Ballin?
And it's coming from the direction of like a farm, so I feel like it might be something there. But I feel like at midnight.
Yeah, that's a weird time to be out and about on the farm. It's weird. It's weird being like living in the countryside in Ireland because you hear some crazy shit and you just don't know what it is.
Like during the day, I hear it, and I'm like, that's probably a farmer shooting some pest because that's just the sound you hear in the countryside.
Yeah.
Because rabbits are bastards with farms, and that happens a lot.
Yeah.
But at midnight, it's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. Do you know this is a little bit off topic, but it's also vaguely related. Fucking farmers are so eager to shoot your dog in Ireland. It's so annoying.
Really?
Yeah, they
Oh
always,
yeah, because dogs kill sheep.
But well, supposedly, but they always come up to my gaff. They come up to my front door and they knock on my door. And they're like, your dog was in my field again. If I see him there again, I'm shooting him. And I'm like, what was he doing? And he's like, he was playing with the sheep. I'm like, yeah, because he hasn't got a fucking a vindictive bone in his body.
Your dog's really nice.
Yeah, my dog just wants to play with the sheep. He just sees the sheep.
But I can see where the farmer's coming from because that does happen a lot.
Yeah, of course. But just watch for like 30 seconds and you will see that my dog is not trying to kill your fucking sheep. The only thing my dog kills is wasps and mice.
Yeah.
That's all. He'll eat the wasps and then he'll kill the mouse and he'll leave it in front of my ma's bedroom door.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's inside too.
Yeah.
Like my cat does that, but she leaves them on the outside.
On the porch or whatever. Yeah.
It's weird that they leave them there. They're like, and you know what? I found out why that is. Particularly in the case of cats. They're like, I never see this stupid fucking human ever kill anything. So I don't know how he eats. So I'm just gonna kill this thing and maybe leave it for him just in case.
Is that what it is?
I
that's
feel
really
like
nice.
That's what it is.
Well, I always assumed that it was.
I
always knew
feel
it was like a
nice,
gift of
because
some
I feel like it's the cat being like, "You're a stupid fucking idiot. You're stupid baby."
That's the thing, man. I feel like cats really do think. Like when you see a cat and you see the way that they behave around you and stuff, like they're so different from dogs in that they really do act like they have authority over you, whereas the dog is like, oh my god, I'm so reliant on you, you're my master, you're the love of my life, I love you so much, oh my god, just looking at you makes me happy, look at my tail wag.
Yeah.
And then the cat is like just staring you out of it from across the room, being like, look at you fucking lazy piece of shit.
Cats don't meow when there's no humans around.
Really?
The meowing is actually imitation of a baby, a human baby, because what that does is it gets into your brain and you're like, oh, this thing is crying, I need to feed it.
Oh my god.
Because that's what we do with babies. Yeah.
Is that a real thing?
Yes.
Oh my god.
And when cats rub up against you, that's not like affection. That's like, this is mine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's them just marking their territory.
I own this.
At least they don't piss on you, because that's how dogs mark their territory, you know.
But dogs don't. They're like, this is my friend. He's my best friend.
Yeah. But then they, if you come home and you've been like at your friend's house and your friend is a dog, your dog's like rubbing up on you, being like, "What's this? What the fuck is this? What's this smell?
Who have you been with?"
Yeah. What's her name?
Yeah. Also, there's this. I've seen this happen with dogs before, where the dog's super excited to see you, so it just starts pissing inside. Man. It's like, "Oh, dude, yeah!" And I remember my one of my family members had a dog, and their house was tiled. And the dog used to piss all the time, but the dog would run around and piss. And
as it ran, like?
Yeah, and its back legs would be like slipping in the piss and on the tiles.
Yeah, I remember my ex-girlfriend.
Just because they get really excited and start pissing. Just like, I mean, sometimes humans do that. I do that sometimes.
My ex-girlfriend, her father lived abroad. He was working abroad, only in England. But every now and then he'd come back to visit them, and they have this adorable little dog, and he has, the second that her father would walk in the door, he would like look at the dog and smile, and the dog would like look him straight in the eye and like flinch and then just piss itself. And I was there when it happened like 3 or 4 times, and every single time her ma would be like, "For fuck's sake, Greg, stop looking at the dog." It was great. It was so funny.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, my dog's not like that. Well, my sister's dog's a little like that. One of the dogs, it's really annoying. We have 3 dogs, and one of them keeps pissing the floor, and we can't figure it. We can't figure it out. I know for a fact it's not Shaggy.
Mystery.
I know for a fact it's not Shaggy. He's my big fella.
He seems well trained.
He is very well trained, and he always has been. But Scooby, we just found on the fucking side of the road. We posted on Facebook. No one came to take her, so she's ours now. And then my sister's dog, Belle, is like a tiny little anxious mess. So it's quite possible that she could be so scared of everything that she's just pissing herself, but also Scooby could be so untrained that she's pissing herself. Yeah. So it's a toss up between those two, and they only ever do it when we're not in the room. Every time we walk into the kitchen and there's just a massive puddle of it, and the 2 of them are standing there, and we're looking at them and we're like, one of you's got to fucking cave eventually. Which one of you is doing this? I'm fucked up of it, man. I'm fucked up of like walking into my kitchen and being like, oh, I better watch me fucking step so I don't step in some piss.
Can we for a second just talk about how much Scooby hates me?
Scooby despises you.
Hates me.
Yeah, really, really hates you. Yeah. Like barks like ferociously at you and will not
doesn't
stop. And will not stop. I've tried to stop her. I tried to stop her. And then you leave, and like when you left and Finn stayed, not a bother on her. She'd bark like a little bit, and then she'd like get used to him, and he'd like give her a little rub, and she'd be like, "Oh no, that's right, you're cool. But you, Scooby fucking hates you, man."
And like we fed her and everything.
Yeah. No, she can't stand you. Shaggy loves you, but Shaggy loves everybody.
Shaggy loves me because me and Shaggy are best friends, and someday he's gonna leave you for me.
No. Shaggy and me we're tight.
I'm gonna show up at your house in a car, in like a convertible, and I'm gonna be like, Shaggy, get in. And he's gonna be like, finally.
No, because I don't spend a lot of time in my house in Carlow anymore, because I'm like I'm in college during the week, and then I'm working at the weekend, so I'm kind of flip flopping between where I'm staying at all times. But whenever I do go home, my stepdad's like, why why does Shaggy love you so much? Because he gets so excited. And I'm there like, I will spend the entire night ignoring my family, just being like, hey, big fella.
Oh, it's so hard not to. He's such a pretty dog.
Oh, he's gorgeous. He's beautiful. I love him. If anyone... you don't have to follow my Instagram because it's not very interesting, but it's worth looking at my Instagram just to see how beautiful my fucking dog is. It's at Dara Eaton, Daraeaton. He's a beautiful
dog.
Dog.
Your name on there.
What? Yeah, but man,
although Dara Eaton's not a common name.
That's the thing, man. My email address is daraeaton@gmail.com. My Snapchat is just Dara Eaton. My Instagram is just Dara Eaton. It's never taken. It's never been taken. Nuts. And I've been followed on Instagram by some girl in America whose name is Dara Eaton, spelled the exact same way.
What?
And she just found me and she followed me. And every now and then I post shit being like when you see those things that are like coasters or whatever, and they have like names on them.
Yeah.
And I always find ones that are like DARAGH, and I take a picture of them and complain, just post it on Instagram being like, oh, what a shame, I can never find him. And every time she messages me being like, preach. And I'm like, yeah, you know the feels, you know the pain, you know the struggle.
Dara Club.
Yeah, one of these days I hope to meet this random American girl, and we can be like, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard. I haven't spoken about this on the podcast, right? My name is... Remember how this started, this conversation? We're way off topic.
Yeah.
My name is just spelled D-A-R-A. Right?
Yeah.
Which is not the common spelling. The common spelling is D-A-R-R-A-G-H.
Yeah.
But fuck that. And in work, right, I now have... They're trying to get all professional. I've mentioned that in the past. So now I've got like a lanyard that goes around my neck, and it's like a swipe card.
Very fancy.
And if I can swipe that card on the till, and it'll automatically log me in.
Okay, yeah.
So it's very fancy. Yeah. But written on the card is D-A-R-R-A-G-H.
Oh, no.
Right, which is bad enough. But then my name tag is D-A-R-R-A.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Two misspellings. But you see, the thing about the name tag bothers me more because D-A-R-R-A just isn't a variation of my name. No one uses that.
No.
It's either D-A-R-A, D-A-R-R-A-G-H, or D-A-I-R-E. And that one's dumb. If you have that spelling, you're dumb. Your name isn't Dara.
That's not real.
Yeah, no, but I see people with it.
I refuse to believe that that's real.
And people, I get people being like, oh, like when I was younger, people were like, oh, the D-A-I-R-E, that's the female version. And I was like, okay. And then I get people coming to me being like, D-A-R-A, your one, that's the female version. I'm like, bull fucking shit. I don't buy it. Fuck you.
We have proven that there is at least one female with that name.
Yeah, well, that is true. That is true. But there's another guy in America, another dude called Dara Eaton, spelt the same way as mine.
Oh, wow.
And when I was younger, I used to Google my name just to see if there were other people with this name, and he used to come up. He used to be like the most prominent search result. He was like some fucking gym coach or something who had a couple of titles or whatever some teams won. I've buried him. I've totally buried that motherfucker. If you Google Dara Eaton now, you get my acting CV, my Facebook, my Instagram, my
That's
SoundCloud.
amazing.
He's gone. I've wiped him.
See, problem is, if you Google my name, it's a 6'5" black guy who played for the Lakers. Which is so weird. Which is so weird.
It is weird. Brian Grant.
Yeah, that's not that name that I would expect for a basketball player.
No, you wouldn't really, would you? No.
Like, because it's just, like, it's totally an Irish name.
Yeah, well,
Well, no, Brian's not really. I don't know.
Brian's not that Irish, but I don't think Grant is that Irish either.
The Grant, yeah, I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah, no idea.
There might be some...
Eaton is not Irish at all. I'm pretty sure it's English.
Yeah.
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 Which makes me the enemy.
The only thing I know of anything else to do with Eaton is Eaton Mess, which is a dessert. It's quite nice.
I saw an Eaton Mess donut recently, and I took a picture of it just to be like, that's me. And I bought one just because, of the novelty of it, and it was delicious.
Man, donuts can be disappointing.
They can be.
I was listening to another podcast that's really good, and they're from Dublin, and he's taking off his shirt again.
So I can't fucking do it, man. It's way too warm in here.
Yeah, they're from Dublin, and one of them was like, oh, there's this donut place just off O'Connell Street that's really good, and they do bacon-topped glazed donuts that are excellent.
The Rolling Donut, maybe?
Rolling Donut,
Rolling Donut, yeah.
And me and Ali went.
It's on Bachelor's
up
Walk.
there, and because we were in Dublin. I think we went up to Dublin to go find the store that sold Gundams and go to the Rage, which is a really cool retro game store in Dublin.
Oh, cool.
Who have a really good Facebook.
Okay.
They do a thing every week that's really cool. I'm getting off topic, but they do a thing every week where they'll post a cropped screenshot of a retro game, and whoever can figure out what game it's from gets a free like little bag.
Oh, that's
and their bags are like proper canvas bags, and they're really nice.
That's dope.
I went up there to buy a bunch of PS2 games. They're the guys who won the Barcade token in Dublin.
Oh, savage. Okay, awesome. Right.
Really, really cool place. All the people who work there are really nice. But yeah, we went to Rolling Donut, and it just maybe because I don't really have a sweet tooth. And it was so glazed.
Yeah.
It was so rich. And it was like a really high quality donut. But man, I would never.
I've noticed this, man. Donuts have become a huge thing in Dublin. We're constantly like bit by bit we're just absorbing American culture whatever way we can.
I'm okay with that because a lot of that food is like great junk food.
But like now there's Rollin' Donut, which is on Bachelor's Walk.
There's a bunch of good Mexican places in Dublin as well.
There's a load of Mexican places popping up now. But there's like so many, like practically like every fucking second Londis has like a Boston donut stall in it.
Yeah.
And then there's this place called like Donutter. That I've seen like 2 or 3 of them, right? And the idea of it is that the word is supposed to be donutter.
Yeah.
But there's only one T, and it drives me insane. It drives me insane. That's doneuter. It's doneuter. That's what that spells. Fuck that place.
Do you want to go hit up Doneuter?
Yeah, Doneuter. Fuck that. Oh my god, just
I'm sure
add
their
another
donuts
T.
are fine.
I'm sure they're grand, but I
because
could never
how can
go
you
in
fuck
there
up a
now.
donut? Like,
yeah, but there's
it's just deep fried.
Well,
bread.
like long before any of these places existed, there's always been that place on Abbey Street. Have you had those donuts?
No, I don't really go for. I only went to Rolling Donuts.
No, these donuts are worth having. They're quite delicious, and it's like a long-standing like institution. It's a tiny little donut stall. It's just off Abbey Street on O'Connell Street, like just the turn off to Abbey Street there, and it's they make the donuts in front of you. They make them in front of you.
That's really cool.
So good, and you get them and they're warm.
Warm donuts.
On point, man.
There's a place by Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go to Trinity.
Not anymore.
Yeah, you did for a while. But
no, I didn't. I was never smart enough to be in Trinity, just for what it's worth. The acting college I referenced earlier was owned by Trinity, so I was
never
a
rich
Trinity
enough
student.
To be in Trinity.
Oh, definitely not. No way.
I know. No hate on anyone who go. I know people who go to Trinity.
I know people. Yeah,
they're all rich.
You know.
There's a place by there called Mama Jalapenos.
Okay.
And they do. I don't know if they're still there. I hope they're. They should be, because every time I've been by there after, like, there's the line at lunchtime is out the door, like down the street, and they do burritos, and they make the burritos right there. Me and Austin were in Dublin for an art thing back in the Leaving Cert. And
Jesus, that's going back fucking years.
Everyone in our class was like, "Man, let's go get Subway," and me and Austin were like, "Fuck that! We're in Dublin. There's other options."
When you're in Dublin,
I could get a Subway in Carlow, and it would be just as mediocre. And then you go to. We were walking up with them, and then we saw this burrito place, and we were like, "We gotta go in." So I went in, and I was like, "Can you get me a?" She was like, "What would you like on your burrito?" And I was like, "I don't know. What's good?" And she was like, "All of it's good." And I was like, "Put all of it on." Every single like topping and everything.
And now you're on a diet.
It gets worse. It gets worse. She put all of it on, toasted it, gave it out to me. We went downstairs. There's a little basement area where you can eat. Mm-hmm. Sat down there and we were eating these. We had like the hot sauce. We were pouring it into it and shit. So good.
Yeah.
Oh, unbelievably good. Yeah. Such a good burrito. So good, in fact, that we went to the art gallery. And this was like a big burrito, like a big heavy burrito.
Yeah.
Went to the art gallery that we were supposed to go to. Walked around, did all the stuff. On the way back, it was like, let's stop for lunch once more and get some food. And me and Austin were like, do you want to go and get another burrito? And I got another burrito with everything in it, which is like it's got to be like 1,000 calories a piece.
Jesus Christ.
Crazy.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Mama Jalapenos by Trinity. It's up at the back of Trinity. It's really good.
There's loads of good places for eats in Dublin. Fucking Little Caesars, great Italian place. There's a couple of them about.
That's an
it's
American
a chain,
thing.
yeah, but they're lovely.
What
really
weirds
nice.
me out is the Tim Hortons.
Yeah, they're become big.
Because Tim Hortons is like just a Canadian thing.
Yeah.
And then it's here, but it's not even here. It's just their coffee.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
And it's not just their coffee. It's not like it's not like they open shops where they only sell their coffee. They just attach to a Londis, and it's not even like sometimes you walk in, like for example, we have Papa John's here. Yeah. But it's only ever attached to Supermax, which is like a local
no one ever gets
Irish
Papa
food
John's
chain.
Because you have to go into a Supermax. No one wants to do that.
I've been eating a bit of Supermax lately. Supermax is good. They've got good chips.
No.
But what's it called? Fucking yeah. Like so, if you go into like a Spar or something, it's not like they have a Tim Hortons attached to it and you can like sit down or whatever. There's literally just a coffee machine that makes you Tim Hortons coffee. And my ma loves it.
As a coffee drinker, it's decent coffee. Yeah? Tim Hortons is fine. It's better. I prefer it to like Starbucks or Costa.
To this day, I've never had an actual coffee from Starbucks. I've had hot chocolates from Starbucks. Not that good.
No.
Not that good, man. I make a better fucking hot chocolate
when I was in college. Or when I was having lunch in college, I went to a different place. The only place they had was a Starbucks.
Yeah.
So eventually I just started getting the like really cheap tea because everything else in Starbucks fucking sucks.
Yeah. What's it called?
Horrible.
For anyone who's out there who I don't drink tea, I don't drink coffee. I like an old hot chocolate in the evening if I'm treating myself.
Because you're still a child.
I am still a child, yeah. But it's nice.
It's
nice. It warms me belly. I love good hot chocolate, right? But here's the thing, right? Because this is such a basic thing, and most people don't know it. And the only reason I know it is because I used to be a waiter, and that's a shitty job to work. But there's one or two things you learn that are useful, and one of them is how to make good hot chocolate. Because it's so easy. All you do is you put in like a spoon and a half, maybe two of the powder, right? Then you put in enough milk, just enough to cover the powder, maybe a little more, right? Then you stir that shit up, turn it into like a chocolate paste. Okay. And then you add the rest of the milk, and then you stir it. And that just, it makes a world of difference.
Wow.
So if anyone out there is looking for a decent cup of hot chocolate, that's the waiter way. That's how they make, when you're in a fancy hotel and you order a hot chocolate and you're like, fuck me, man, this is a good hot chocolate. That's all they did. It's the very same stuff.
Yeah.
It's the very same stuff, but it's just made that way.
Is it even like the same brand?
Yeah, most of the time, yeah.
Cadbury's
yeah, it's the fucking Cadbury's. Yeah. But the Cadbury's one's not as good as the Nesquik one. Go for the Nesquik.
I have the Cadbury's one here.
Yeah, fuck it. No wonder you don't fucking like hot chocolate, motherfucker. Go for the Nesquik. It's delicious.
See, I'll just drink a berry tea. I'm a big fan of some berry tea with a little bit of honey.
Even when I was a tea drinker, man, I was Lions all the way.
No, I've started like experimenting with different flavors and stuff. I really like it.
I used to have an old flavor tea every now and then.
Every night I go up to bed, bring my laptop up with me, brew myself some blueberry and blackcurrant is what I'm currently drinking. Put a little bit of honey in there, and watch like 2 episodes of Dragon Ball, and I'm just gone asleep.
Nice. I experimented with chamomile tea for a while because I had trouble sleeping. So that's really good for that shit, man. It's really relaxing.
I had trouble sleeping once, and I experimented with heroin. Just you take one hit and you're just gone.
Just gone, man.
Just gone.
It's the best sleep you'll ever have. Craziest dreams.
For the record, I've never taken heroin.
Neither of us ever have. We're not gearheads. No. So. Man, we started talking about this. We started talking about some fucking random noise that you were hearing in the countryside of Ballin, and we ended up here. So that's how full of shit we are.
I like it though. I think that was good. That
was a nice little chat. Yeah,
we're just coming up on nearly 2 hours.
Yeah, I think we're doing alright then. Well, how far are we from 2 hours?
We're 7 minutes.
7 minutes. Can we stall for 7 minutes, Brian? That's the question.
Could we make it a 2 hour?
I would like to. At this point, I feel like
we could make it a 2 hour just by talking about if we could make it a 2 hour.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it's working.
Yeah, we could stretch it out. We could definitely stretch it out. Let me see. What else? I didn't complain about this earlier.
Oh yeah, complain about something. Let's end off on a complaint.
Yeah.
Let's end on a sour note.
On a real negative note. If anyone's listened to this podcast before, I frequently give out about the wide variety of customers that I get coming into the shop that I work in, right? And today, I had a woman come
in. And hopefully
your
boss never listens to this. No, I'm kidding.
Well, hopefully the customers don't. I don't really care if the boss does. He'd probably agree with me.
You get a lot of characters working in anywhere service.
Anywhere in the service industry, yeah. Anywhere in retail. But fucking today I got this woman come into me, right? She was an English woman. And look, I don't like to judge people on their physical appearance, but this woman was really quite repulsive to look at. And it's not that she was like hideous, but she was just so grimy and unclean and unkept, right?
Yeah, that's a staple of Carlo.
She was English.
What?
Yeah, she was an English woman, right?
They're shipping them over now?
Her hair was like super greasy and it was held back by a hairband, right? And she had like a really tight t-shirt on, right? And she had a massive beer belly, and the t-shirt covered half of her stomach, and the rest of it was just hanging out there, right? She didn't even buy anything. She came in and asked me if I would charge her battery for about 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll plug it in for you, right? So I plugged it in, and she just...
That's your first mistake. You should have been like, no.
Well, no, because you see, at this point, I thought that she was a regular customer of ours, because she had one of our pipes. But it turns out she'd gotten it from her sister, who actually lives in Carlo, and she was just visiting. So she wasn't even a customer of ours. I didn't have to be nice to this woman.
No.
Right? But she comes in, and I plug in the battery for her, and then she sticks around. Right? Which is grand sometimes. Sometimes I quite enjoy speaking to a lot of our customers. A lot of them are really sound.
Yeah.
But this woman, right? Like 30 seconds into the conversation, we're talking, and she's like, oh yeah, I've been staying with my sister there. I came into town, I was supposed to be getting a flight to Spain today, but I missed it. And I was like, oh, fuck, that sucks, man. And she was like, yeah, you know, I was living in England for a while. She was like, the beauty of England is that if you go over there and you're on benefits, they'll just give you a flat. And I was like, oh, God, you're one of these people. I'm 21 years old, and I am working right now.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me about all the free shit you can get from benefits. Don't be one of those people. I don't want to talk to one of those people.
Have aspirations.
Yeah, or at least pretend that you're trying. At least pretend that you've fallen on hard times. Don't just openly be like, yeah, man, you can just scam the government. It's savage, right? So she starts talking about that, right? And then she's like, yeah, so I was living in one of these like council flats for a while, and it was good, man, but all my stuff kept getting robbed. And I was like, oh, that sucks. And she was like, yeah, it's the fucking blacks, man.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no.
This terrible human.
Oh, my God.
And it's not even like you can be like, oh, I have to go, because you're charging her shit. Yeah. She's locked in.
I know. And there isn't even a back part of the shop. I can't even be like, oh, I have to go check something in the back and just stand back there and take a breather for a minute. I just have to sit there in front of this woman. And then she's like talking, and she was like, and then she got kind of sad.
And there's this weird thing in Ireland where we're too polite to just be like, all right, you need to leave.
Yeah, or at least like stop being so fucking racist.
Yeah, stop being a racist. You know.
And then she was like, yeah, I was gonna go over to Spain because at least when you're homeless in Spain, at least it's warm. And I was like,
oh
no. Yeah, I suppose. And then she was like, yeah, so I'm probably gonna be sleeping rough tonight. And she kept saying it to me as if I was gonna offer her somewhere to stay. It really felt that way. It felt like she was just being like, and she kept being like, oh yeah, you know, I got the bus in this morning. I was staying with my sister. My sister's got 5 kids, so she doesn't want me in the house anymore. And she's like, and I got the bus in this morning, and I was supposed to switch buses here and get the bus to Dublin, but then she
got in this morning.
Yeah.
You must be a real grade A piece of shit. If not even a day passes and your family is like, you need to leave.
Yeah. But then she and then she was like, oh, I've been in town all day and I've been just walking around looking for work because now I don't think I'm going to go to Spain. And I was like,
oh my God, we live in this town. You don't walk around and look for work. There is no work.
There's no work. And first of all, if you're looking for work, right? Because I found work in this town. And the way that I did that is I walked around in like a decent pair of jeans and not too formal a shirt, but just a nice button-up shirt. I had my hair neat. I'd walk in with my CV and go, do you mind if I leave that in there? And they'd go, yeah, sure, no bother. And they probably wouldn't get back to me, but at least I'd made myself presentable. She was walking around looking for work in this belly top.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to be a belly top. It's just supposed to be a top. You know, in her greasy hair. And she was walking around. She didn't have anything in her hands. She didn't have CVs or anything. She was like, yeah, then I went to the Catholic church and I was saying, do you have any work for me? I was like, in the Catholic Church? Well, I was thinking this. And then she was like, and then they told me to go to the nuns. So then she went to the convent in Greg, and she went to the nuns, and she was like, do you have a bed for me? And they were like, no.
Yes, I assume being from England.
You're probably... like
we don't like those people in our.
We were not prioritized here.
Those nuns do not like the Protestants.
Not at all, man. And I was just astounded by this woman, and she was telling me all this stuff as if I was gonna be like, "Oh yeah, man, I feel you."
No,
I'm clearly working for my living.
Yeah,
I cannot relate to you at all on this.
No.
And eventually, I had to be like, I just unplugged her battery, and I was like, "That's charged there for you now." And she was like, oh, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, screw it on there. She screwed it on. She took a pull. She was like, oh, yeah, it's working there. I was like, can you get you anything else? She was like, oh, not really. I don't have the money. I was like, oh, that's all right. I'll see you after so. And she was like, oh, all right. I'll see you again. And she left all cheery. And I was like, oh. And then, I'm not going to lie. Look, I don't like shitting on people. Like, oh, look, I do. But I don't like shitting on people on a public platform.
Yeah.
There was a fucking stank in the shop, man, after she left. A proper stank. And like as everyone knows, I work in a vape shop. So I was just
getting as much out there as you could.
Just blasting off it, man. Trying to force the smell out of the shop. And nothing was doing it. Like, I was just sitting in it all day. It was no good. So I needed to get that out somewhere. And I sent... Oh. Go on.
No, you go first. No, I have a story, just a quick one after this.
Okay, well, yeah, I was in the middle of... When she came in and after she left, I was in the middle of messaging Finn and Austin. And I said to them, I was like, I just had the worst type of customer. I'm not going to tell you about it. I'm just going to wait until the podcast.
Yeah,
I'm just going to let it all out. So I hope they hear that story now.
I just had a cool interaction the other day. Yeah. We have a guy who comes here and cleans the windows. He does the whole estate.
That's nice of him.
Yeah, he'll show up and clean the windows and then come and pick up money like on Fridays or whatever. And I was in the kitchen practicing a mandolin because I hadn't been playing for a while because I got into the piano and I was doing a lot of that and I didn't really touch the mandolin because I'm a terrible person who doesn't practice stuff. So my fingers lost the
hard edge,
the calluses. The callus. So I had to like get those back by just playing a bunch on like really hurting my fingers. And so they're back now, which is good. But I had to play it like for a couple of hours and I was sitting in the kitchen playing it. And I didn't know the window man was here. And he comes around and he's doing the window thing at the kitchen and like the curtains are open and everything because it's the middle of the day. Yeah. And I'm like, there's no way he doesn't see me and there's no way this doesn't make me look like a huge dick. Like just playing my mandolin, like look at me. But there was a little part of me that was like, I'm going to look really cool right now.
Playing my mandolin. But he's never even seen a mandolin in person.
That's where you're wrong because he shows up with the money to collect the money on Friday. And he's like, oh, I saw you play the mandolin. That was really cool. I also play the mandolin. I've been playing for a few years. And we had like a little conversation and stuff, and it was really cool.
That's so much more. That's a much better note to end on than my story.
Yeah.
That's much nicer.
Yeah.
Right.
So
we'll wrap it up there.
I feel like we should wrap it up there. I feel like we have. Oh yeah, shit. We didn't say anything about the Twitter or anything.
Well, yeah, we can do. Yeah, we'll do. It'll all be in the thumbnail anyway. But we'll.
Yeah.
So you can reach us at tlostpod on Twitter.
Yeah.
Translation Lost Podcast on Facebook and translationlostpod at gmail.com. If you want to send any emails, we should have read that out during the email section. But we love to get them. So please do send one in if you're so inclined. If you're sitting around and you're bored shitless, like many of us are. If you're listening to a podcast, you probably are. Let's be real.
You could be podcasts
while you're doing stuff. Yeah, but you know.
I used to listen to music, but.
Yeah. I used to listen to podcasts while I worked out, and then I would be like in the middle of benching something that's already a little too heavy, and then I'd laugh and nearly die.
Yeah.
So I've tried to now.
One thing that it does with me is I might lose count of reps sometimes.
Yeah. Well, like now what I do is I go through my podcast list. And I'm like looking through the Joe Rogan Experience, and I'm like, which of these seems really serious? Which of these does not seem funny at all? I watched one of those
recently, and it was just a man in a mushroom hat. Talking about how most of the soil is actually mushrooms and how mushrooms are closer to animals than real people and how there's probably planets with mushroom civilizations.
Okay.
And I was like, this is the most Joe Rogan shit I've ever listened to in my life.
This is a really brief anecdote.
We were about to end.
I know, yeah.
Anyway.
This is a really brief anecdote, but I wanted to say it to someone earlier because it happened to me. I was like, I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast as I walked to work this morning.
Yeah.
It was a Neil deGrasse Tyson one.
Oh, they're good. Yeah.
Yeah,
those ones are good.
Yeah, and I made it to work then, and I turned off the podcast, and then several hours went by, like about 6 hours went by. And then my lunchtime came, my lunch break.
Yeah.
And so I left the shop. I was walking away. No, not a bother on me. And I put the earphones in and I pressed play. And fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson just jumps in with like all this heavy shit about like, you see like the structure of a neon, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm way out of my depth here. Oh, this is not the point to jump in. I was like, back 30 seconds, it's back like, 30 seconds, back 30 seconds.
There is parts of those where it's like I'm listening to someone speak an entirely different language.
Yeah,
like,
and
you know when you know when you go abroad and you talk to someone who doesn't speak English and it's just like blank.
Yeah.
Like they're not even like registering. I'm sure it's the same. It's like that. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, like it got to a point with the Neil deGrasse Tyson one where I was like, I find that I'm at this point I think I'm just being soothed by his voice. I don't actually understand anything he's saying.
Yeah, I kind of get into this state of like, who am I trying to kid? Thinking that I'm gonna learn anything from this. I'm too fucking dumb for this.
It's not
I'm gonna watch something. I'm gonna watch him and Bert Kreischer. I'm gonna watch a Joey Diaz one where he talks about taking a shit in his back garden. That's shit. That I can understand that.
I can relate to that, Joey. Yeah.
I'm smart enough for that. For shit talk.
Right. Okay, that's a good
note to end it on.
Right. So we'll just to reiterate, at @TLostPod on Twitter, Translation Lost Podcast on Facebook, and translationlostpod@gmail.com.
Tell your friends so we can get 1,000 subscribers and make that money.
Yeah,
it's all about the money. It's all been a lie. It's all been a lie. We don't care about movies. We fucking hate them. I have never watched a movie. I just want money.
We just Google image the films that we pretend to talk about. We go based off of that.
I need a couple of cent every few months from ads.
Just to get by.
No, thank everyone so much. And that sounded like I was telling you.
Thank them. Thank them, Dara, right now.
Thank you, anyone who listened to this far in the podcast. We appreciate every one of you.
Yeah.
And this is Translation Lost Podcast.
We'll be better at this next week.